It's time to take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. We are the Rabyd Nation.
All right, and a hearty welcome to the Rabyd Nation. I'm your host, Ed Rabyd, former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate to anti-theist. I am the Rabyd Atheist, and welcome to my channel. Tonight, I'm going to just ask a simple question. Hopefully, I'll get some feedback. I was asked, maybe you should ask a question in the audience and see what they have to say about it. And I thought, well, what about this one? Is apologetics getting better or worse? I know it's a pretty open-ended question, but that's what we're going to discuss tonight. If you want to leave your comment on whether you think it's better or worse, that's okay. That's kind of what I'm here to discuss. I also have to deal with another issue, hopefully the last issue involving this particular commenter, but we'll see because I haven't banned them. So we'll see if they show up, but that doesn't mean one of my mods hasn't. So it's kind of the way it works. There's a goal in the chat that just helps me pay for my streaming habit and talking with all of you and getting your feedback and doing the things that I do. So I'll wear the hat chosen by the poll. And as usual on Saturday, the Holy Bunny hat is in play. So we can look at that. But before we get too started, let's go through a quick roll call, see who's here. Blossom was here early. So was Rimmer. Who's not going to be able to be here tonight. If they could get worse, they could get worse. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. And Fred was here. Stormburn, welcome, Stormburn. Michael Wolf, welcome. Evan, yeah, you're slightly early. Martin is here. And Dragon Rider, good to see you. Yeah, Dragon Rider, I saw your situation. Yeah, get away from the news. It's not going to change. Go find something in life to enjoy. As somebody who's got a political science degree and watches that stuff as a hobby, even I get away from it a while because it gets angering. So there's that. So. And the laugh in which our Lord naps them. The wonderful I killed Earl is here as well. The mighty Philbert is here. You're omnipresent. You're at least present in two places at once. I do that too. Fangs' multiplication powers have come in great handy. So yes, but also thank you very much, Stormburn. Appreciate it. There's one. So, and I don't ask much. So there you go. But yes, I'm asking the question. I will. There's an issue I've got a PowerPoint for that I'm going to deal with in about a half hour. I want to discuss the issue at hand, but I think the issue will illustrate what I'm seeing in apologetics. But I wanted to get some feedback on whether some of you watch apologetics channels, you watch other videos reacting to apologetics, and I just want to kind of a barometer, I guess, in the comments of whether or not you think apologetics is getting worse. And I'll save my opinion till about a half hour in, because I'm going to pull up an example of what I consider, I hope apologetics isn't going, but I think that's might be where it is. So let's see. But Blossom says, must be doing something right because Sean McDowell almost endeared himself to me. Like he's still awful, but compared to those eyes seem kind of nice. Actually, Sean McDowell has a reputation for being a very nice guy. Like he's not like an evil asshole. Okay, like he doesn't treat people like jerks. So he does actually have that reputation. It's like the problem is, sometimes he says stuff like, you do realize the implications of that, right? So, and this was because of his pretending to be an atheist thing that he does in Christian schools. And I was like, it's kind of bold, actually showing the opposition in some way. Yeah, but he's also kind of, I don't know, every time I've seen that, it's been a little bit of a straw man. Okay, but why not invade? Why not invite an actual atheist? Yeah, that's kind of one of the comments. If they could get worse, they could. I think apologists can get worse, and they have. It's usually an attitude thing, but I'm going to demonstrate that later. I think I'm going to demonstrate that later. It was something that's been going on the channel. So, if someone wants to know why an atheist should probably ask an atheist. Unless you don't actually want to know. I don't think they do. I think that's probably my biggest criticism with apologetics is how they portray atheists. Like, they don't portray other religions that way. Anybody else notice this? Like, they don't go after Islam the same way. They don't go after other religions the same way. But atheists, boy, there's something wrong with them, and we got to go after them in every way possible. But yes, there's a lot of straw men. You think it's more worse than except that they're more desperate. Okay, I can see that. I think they're desperate. Fred's got his, they're more desperate. See, Stormer, and something I've noticed that apologists are hindered by the fact that the audience is mostly fundamentalists. Even non-younger creationists have to play softball with a young creationist view. Yes. I agree with that. Like, people who are creationists, younger creationists, will still pal around with creationists that aren't necessarily young earth. A lot of apologists deal with fundamentalists because fundamentalists have to maintain the Bible as true, like absolutely true. So they have that problem, and so it's hard to talk to other Christians who might have a more metaphorical view of some parts of Scripture, or as my professor in seminary used to call it, a Genesis poetic history. Like, it's a poetic representation of a large amount of deep time, kind of thing, was his view. So I can see where that would be a problem for a fundamentalist to get along with an apologist. So, but yes, you could do a lot of different things there. See, I'd argue, Michael Wolff says, I'd argue it's the same, but now it has to argue against more contrary evidence, and it has nothing better to offer than it always did. I might go back to the desperation thing too, Michael. The reason this concerns me is because of a recent interaction that I had with an apologist who commented on this channel, and I'm going to deal with some of their direct comments here a little bit later. They're hard to find now because he deleted them all, but one of the problems I'm having, because they don't have as much, they have the same stuff to offer they did before, and the questions have gotten more complicated to them. The evidence is stacking against some of their claims, is there's a desperation and almost, I don't know, aggressive desperation at times. So yes, Evan agrees there. Hey, Martin, yes, we're all heathens here. No sympathy to the lemon show in the movie. Silence, the protagonist, undercover agent who committed treason, won't get more specific. Okay, yeah. Comparing the protagonist to, gotcha, I gotcha. I understand the anxiety, Dragon Rider. I have a lot of people around here. The funny part is I live in a red part of the country that absolutely depends on SNAP benefits. There's an irony to what's going on right now. I almost want to laugh. But yes, get away from the news. You have the band hammer at the ready? Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to like one of the comments I deal with, Earl, but I know you're going to handle it in your typical way. It's probably what's going to happen later, Earl, is this. Okay. Is because I got to pull the comments that I managed to save by screenshotting some of them, and I want to deal with it because it goes to the apologetics aspect of it, because this is an apologist speaking on behalf of another apologist, kind of thing. And I don't get angry often, My stoicism, my autism, my just general, I don't give a damn. But I do not like being accused of things that are not true. Okay. Like, I don't like it when somebody propagandizes me or other people that I care about. So we'll see that later. uh, Hit me, evil parent and witch hunter. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's what I'm beginning to wonder about Stormburn is the civility. And me and Earl have had a private discussion on civility and how civility is kind of necessary for civilization to survive. And I don't know, there's a lot of damage to civility in modern times, and it's kind of weird that that's happening. But I've had to have genuine conversations with apologists, and they will automatically accuse me of stuff. But once again, I'll demonstrate that in a few moments. Maybe I'll speed this up to about 5 minutes from now, but because I think it's a good example where I think we're headed. Okay. Now, when you're only demanding sympathy, or there you go. Let's see. As far as the argument, but far worse for the attitude and aggressiveness of the apologists. Yes. Polls show Christians prefer believers in other religions to atheists. I don't know why that is. Yes, because anti-intellectualism is glorified at the highest seats of government. This is the one time when trickle-down bullshit works in real life. There you go. But yes, I get what you're saying, because when the anti-intellectual crowd, the people that take faith over, reason, get glorified and pushed into the forefront, it kind of becomes difficult to have a civil conversation with anybody. So, at least other religions also believe undemonstrable okey spookies too. Less scary than you mean you want evidence for my nonsense. Yes. We can only trickle across to Oz. There we go. Welcome to the land of Oz. I don't know. Yeah, Earl's facing some problems with her insurance because of this stuff too. So, yeah, I get you. You have a band fork, less useful but more painful. There we go. Probably. I'm honestly, Earl, I'm going to pull it up in a couple of minutes. I managed to screenshot a lot of comments from, and you know who I'm talking about. It's Real Seeker. And he had a last conversation with Stormburn on that one video where he kind of showed up really late, like very late, I think on purpose. I haven't personally banned him from the channel, but I don't doubt that maybe there were perhaps some moderators that took exception to that and said, yeah, you're done. So, but later on, his comments were still there. So I don't think that happened. But later on, I know he deleted them himself, which is always a telling sign. I'll talk about that too. But God and theists like myself, atheists like myself, simply aren't convinced by these arguments. Some tried to change a bit, though. If I missed any, just let me know. But I think I got them all. I even got yours. I'm gonna pull that up because I think this is where apologetics is heading, Stormburn. I think your thing is that the civility is dying down. I think this shows it. Okay, and it ain't me. Like putting lipstick on a. That's not. Yes, and that's the thing with civility is it has to be reciprocal. Like if there's always been this unwritten agreement between people having a conversation that we're still going to respect each other's humanity by not getting insulting, but at the same time we can engage each other's ideas, even if I find those ideas abhorrent. Okay, like when pastors decide to defend slavery instead of denying that it exists in the Bible, I can at least respect their being honest. Okay, I can at least respect that they're human beings like me, and I can empathize with the fact that having been a believer myself, I can empathize with what it's like to be trapped in that. Okay, so I can do that. But when it's like I can't do it, then yeah. So there's that. We're given free reign at the moment because of the horror of current. Yes, I don't know what's going to happen to the politics in America. Oh, you remember? Yes, yes. After that stream, Earl, Stormburn and Real Seeker got into a little bit of a fight, and I'm going to pull that up. Okay, and I'm going to actually shrink me down so you can see it better. And I think I have 8 slides. I have 9 slides because I have a message. So, but after that stream concluded, and Paul was there, Paul from Apologia was there, and we had a little conversation with him at the end. And I'm doing my outro, and Real Seeker showed up and made a few comments, including the one that Stormburn made note of here, where the sun don't shine. Okay, as far as the who are these PhDs and all that stuff. And the reason I say this is a good example of apologetics right now is the civility issue. When I started the conversation with Real Seeker, I was genuinely just trying to find some names. Like who are these people that are critics of Habermas's 3rd volume? Who are they? What's their education level? You know, because in the interview with Habermas, Real Seeker kind of indicates, oh, well, we're not dealing with like populist YouTubers or whatever. And so Stormburn made this comment, and it's like a good comment. It's a solid comment. But about that, and then Real Seeker shows up. Now, Real Seeker is an apologist. I'm going to call him an apologist. And this is where things really broke down completely for me. So you can't find these comments on my channel anymore because I'm very certain that Real Seeker deleted them. I'm glad I screenshotted the conversation. I sent this conversation to Paul. His response was basically what kind of thing. So yes. So we have a moment here where Real Seeker could have kind of redeemed himself. But this is I want you to understand that this is what apologists think of you and me, okay? Like when apologists address atheists, there's a real attitude that they possess, okay? So his response to Stormburn is, I don't believe you. I've learned well, you skeptics deny obvious evidence when it suits your own desires. Oh, no, that's not what happens. I have evidential standards that are evidential standards aren't necessarily atheists or Christians or like scientific evidential standards, legal evidential standards. These are agreed on evidential standards by everybody. And I just apply them to the claims of apologists. So yeah, just so some context, that comment had appeared in screen at the time. Yes. So it's kind of like you were like shooting past each other. I get it. So, but yes, your skeptical chums cheated to let you get the last word. Well, not really. It doesn't really say it was a competition anyway, but I'm definitely having last laugh right now. And you skeptics don't even know it. Now, at this point, I'm curious. When I read this comment the first time, it was like, what are you talking about? Let's say I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for Alter to respond to any of your liars going forward. He and I have had a little chat about your skeptical shenanigans. Okay. I already got out of Alter, I guess, what I wanted. I just asked him a basic question of, all I asked him was, have you written anything about Habermas and Volume 3 recently? And he gave me the 2 links. He gave me a paper and he gave me a video he did on a channel. And I watched the video and I read the paper and I was satisfied. I haven't talked to Alter since. Okay. So I don't know what he's talking about, but here's a real thing about this. Why are you blocking access to information like this? What are you afraid of? See, I was talking over on Saturday Night of the Atheist early, and one of the things I was listening to that preacher, and I'm like, he has this big thing about education and things like that. What are you afraid of? Why does information contrary to your position bother you so much? Alter's Jewish. He's not even a Christian, as far as I know. People have mistakenly heard a Christian, but Alter is like a Jew. Yeah, I don't get that one either. How do we cheat? I'm just asking for information, and I knew I had this sinking feeling about Real Seeker almost from the get-go, because he offers this olive branch as an apologist. He's like, maybe we can have this discussion as an apologist. And I rejected it. I said, until I get clarification on who you're talking about, if it's not popularist YouTubers that are criticizing Volume 3, who is it? Oh, I can't give that information because Habermas requested that I don't give that information. And I'm like, who is Habermas to deny or give that permission? And it's like, all of a sudden, I'm starting to have bad vibes. And then when I gave my reasons, he's like, oh, you're engaged in some psychological trick to get the information. I think there was, Earl, because when we get to the rest of these comments, you're going to find out that I think there was a game being played by Real Seeker, like from the get-go. And I'm trying, I'm being my autistic, trying to be genuine self, taking people at their word at first until I get to know them better, self. And so now I'm beginning to think that there was a little bit of a game being played. So apparently, now he's gone to Alter and, poisoned the well about me and perhaps Paul and everybody else, Stormburn and others. And it's like, all I did was ask him if he'd done anything. He gave me stuff and I thanked him for it. Okay. Like literally that is the entire email that I had with him a couple days ago. And I've been reading his stuff. He has 2 books on the resurrection that I'm now interested in buying, because he comes from a Jewish perspective. He's not a non-believer in God, but I don't understand why all of a sudden he would feel the need to have a discussion to block me from information from that source. Why would you do that? Unless there's a game being played that I wasn't aware of being played, because I'm just engaged in an honest interaction here. So Stormberg responds, you just admit you lied because Gary is a baby about Paul. Yeah, I get it, Stormbird, because I was feeling the same way. Well, this whole time I denied it to you, to Ed, or even, but now I'm having seen the ironclad logic of the rabid atheist. I now realize I was clearly lying to myself and you two guys. I'm so ashamed. I said there were 3 skeptical scholars Gary and I referenced, when in fact, in reality, there was indeed 3 skeptical scholars I was referring to. Okay. I told you that you gave me 2. You hadn't given me the 3rd, still haven't. And I just came to the conclusion, well, wait a minute, all the things that is there something post-release volume 3 where some PhD or somebody has been critical of Gary Habermas's 3rd volume? Still nothing. Okay. So you're continuing to make this claim, Real Seeker, if you watch this later, but you still haven't backed it up. Okay. You still haven't given it to me. You can keep saying it. And this is where the one Earl might get mad. So, but yes. So now I think there was indeed a game being played. But apparently he took exception to you being a witch, Earl, and no wonder the witch told me to get bent last night. And I'm like, who, what? Oh, Earl. Earl. I'm such a miserable sinner. Well, we don't have sin in Fangsology, so your theology is bad there. Yeah, you did tell him that. And, I just like the fact that he must have also, in order to know that you were a witch, he must have watched the Halloween one too. So, because this was Monday after the Halloween one, this is like the 3rd. So I'm, but Fangs doesn't hold things against people very much anyway. And as far as forgiveness, forgiveness has to be earned to me. I think free grace, like Christianity gives out, is a ripe atmosphere for abuse. Like it allows people to keep abusing people and, oh, you got to forgive me, you're a Christian. Fangs doesn't do that, but yeah, good thing. You might need it. Yeah, I know. And I took it badly, Earl, because it's like, yeah, there was a reason why she told you to get bent, and I kind of approved in my heart of hearts. So, but yes. So now I'm like, no, you still haven't given me the three names. You didn't give me three names in the first place. And so maybe you're saying you have the three names, but you still won't give them. I do not, once again, I do not understand what so makes you so fearful to give information. I do not understand that. I still don't. In the scholarly context, giving information is absolutely the thing. So there you go. He moved his pants and liked it. Okay, there we go. So skeptical who fact checked Gary's repeated claim of validating cited more non-Christians than Christians. Let's be specific, especially when you admitted the names are where the sun don't shine. Because in the comments that he left at the end of the stream in the chat were those people where the sun don't shine. In other words, he's kind of admitting that they either didn't exist, but then he says they do exist, but now he's saying they don't exist. Yeah, it's like, is it scared of the truth? I do not understand this methodology from apologists. Like when they always seem to have this temper tantrum. Like he does the ironclad logic of the rabid atheist comment in the last one. And I'm like, why is it that these people always have to comment on my logic instead of like defeating my logic with other logic? Why do they always have to cast disparaging comments about it? I don't understand that. Other than you don't have a way to argue against me, so now you're just going to get upset. So, but yes, we're being very specific here. So Real Seekers responded to Stormberg's, yes, I fully admit even the words I never said to you, and probably all lied and said I said, I own up to all of it. Okay, first of all, I don't know what lie I told. I heard that you had other scholars you were thinking of other than popular YouTubers, so that gets rid of me and Paul. And I just want to know who the scholars are. I don't know who are they? I still don't know. I still don't know. And yes, I do admit the names that I don't have, but really I do have, and they're indeed where the sun don't shine. So you don't have them because the sun don't shine on my non-physical mental thoughts inside my God-given noggin. Dang, I'm good. A total poet. And I didn't even know it. Just give me the names. I feel like I got given falsity now, and Real Seeker's kind of admitting it. So crashing out and shitting his britches. I encountered for worse in the politics on purpose. Yeah, you pound the facts. With logic, you pound logic. If neither, you pound the foundations. And I think this is where Real Seeker's going, Stormberg. And I think this, when we talk about apologetics and what's wrong with it, it's not so much the other stuff like the facts and evidence of the same old bullshit that they've been doing for years. It's this shit. It's like when you get called out and you get shown that this doesn't work, or you ask for information, they don't want to give it. And then I don't understand why you wouldn't give me the names of scholars being critical of Habermas's third volume so I could go look at them. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Because when I talk about apologetics and is it better or worse, this is how it's worse. This is a perfect example of how it's worse. And it's not because of the answers, it's because of the attitude. And presuppositionalist has definitely brought in this attitude of, you got to prove me wrong. And it's like, if you take that to everything in life, you got to be proven wrong. Otherwise, you can treat whatever you believe or think as true. I really have a problem with that because you can literally defend anything with that. No, you present something, you set a criteria of falsifiability, you create a hypothesis, you test it. In history, you go out and get as much information as you can, kind of draw some probabilistic conclusions. And they don't like that because Christianity requires this absolutism and this certainty. And I don't think you can have it. Nothing, but they're going to be dishonest. They need to understand the consequences of annoyance. If they piss us off, we have the right to tell them so. Yes. I have to wonder, do you skeptics ever get fatigued with all the mental tap dancing? I don't really have to come up with a lot of mental tap dancing, to be honest. And lie and misrepresent. Or does your master Satan keep recharging your batteries as you dance around the truth? This is a very interesting admission of how Real Seeker views atheists. Okay. Apparently, I'm in league with Satan. I don't believe in Satan either. Okay. I don't believe in mythological characters, period. Okay. As real. I believe they're good mythological for that. So, but I don't, none of this is accurate. This is how, so when Real Seeker is engaging a skeptic, this is what he's thinking of a skeptic. He's that's why he was quick to go, you're using some psychological trick, because he automatically assumed that because I'm an atheist, I'm lying. And this is really good propagandist work done by apologists. And this is what's making apologetics work, is the propaganda about atheists. Instead of engaging atheists honestly and with some integrity and assuming that atheists are telling the truth, they automatically assume we're lying. They automatically assume we're in league with Satan. I don't have any mental fatigue at all because I simply stand with what's been proven. And there's actually a lot that has been proven, but there are other things that are still, and I'm okay with I don't know. But no, I don't get it. I don't get it. Try to argue logic. For some reason, they deny their deity in the way the empirical evidence wouldn't be possible because they have nothing. Hey, modern atheism. Good to see you. Yeah, I thought that too. He's accusing us of mental well, vomiting and answer description written in self-righteous, arrogant riddles. Fuck all the way off. Yes. Yeah, Earl, when I saw this comment, I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay. Yeah, I mean, aren't my master's Fangs, not Satan, and Fangs is a good atheist deity. He draws power from unbelief, not belief. So, and he's made up. Okay, I at least admit it. So, okay, I'm sure Haber freaked out when he found out people would fact check. I'm sure he never thought that was about, I think he was never thought that people would check his non-Christian versus Christian claim. And it's funny because this guy's asking for receipts on that. And I'm like, Stormer will rightly point out that he was on Lacona's open forum on September 1st talking about this. The receipts have already been given by the man himself. So I don't get it. You have to demonstrate me wrong. And this is the thing is modern atheism. This is what's happening in apologetics overall. Like even the respectable apologists, listen to some of their stuff every once in a while. They're openly assuming that certain things are true without having to prove them anymore. They just, I think mental gymnastic counts as cardio. It does not. Okay, all right. Thanks, Merlin, for the fact check. Yeah. I definitely get fatigued keeping facts straight when dealing with liars. Okay. Facts because they have no convincing evidence because they have none, just claim, assertion, and strawman. Yeah, so there you go. It'll do not have the opposite effect of rational critical thinking, a brain as smooth as baby's. Okay, there we go. But yes, I mean, this is the problem with apologetics. This is why it's, in my mind, it's getting worse. And I pulled up this example because I now have demonstrable evidence that it's getting worse, and it's these comments. Now, he's deleted all of these, okay? So you can say, oh, I didn't know you made all that up. Okay, but I know. The rabid atheist knows what you said. And so I know how to deal with you from now on. Okay, I'm not going to assume you're on the up and up. I'm going to assume that you've engaged in some deceptive trap. And this is what you were doing the whole time. We have the receipts, right? Like Gary in a clip said he was informed that the three skeptical scholars had fact-checked his claim involved following. Paul edited the clip with a wrong meme, and your comment to the Rabyd referenced that meme and thus the clip. There's no ambiguity in what is being discussed, and that's true. If you go back to Paul's video where he fact-checks Habermas on this, that's exactly what we said. Saying this for pride, I know you don't care and will just lie about lying because you'd rather be a man-child than admit you and your friends are triggered by a YouTuber without credentials. Yes, this is probably true. I don't know why Habermas is triggered by Paul so much, other than he does good fact-checking. So you have no receipts. All you have is lies and clips taken out of context. Those are not receipts. I'm planning on keeping track of everything myself this whole night. It's been very edifying to watch Ed fail my test miserably. I don't have to give receipts when Habermas has already given them himself. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead because Stormberg gives us this. On September 1st, 2020, open forum video on Lacona's channel. And he gives some time date stamps. And Stormberg's being a little sarcastic here. But in that clip, why does Habermas feel the need to come forward and explain what he meant about the non-Christian versus Christian claim if he never made it in the first place? The receipts are already given by the flippin' apologists. Paul and I don't have to give them. Okay, so wait. Oh, you want to see this one? Okay, yeah, I know it's kind of little. This one's a little bit. I had to fit it onto the slide, but for me, the question is, will Paul Gia the same? And I said in my last show, I have some hope for Paul Gia to be a bit smarter than Ed on this front, perhaps not fall into the same trap so easily. But I hope admittedly continues to dwindle the more I observe. Yeah, why is hope dwindling on me? I find that laughable. Paul's been doing this longer than I have. Like, he's been going after Habermas far more frequently and far more often than I have. And so what are we doing here? Okay, I don't have to give receipts if the apologist himself is coming on and trying to give an explanation of why he said Christian versus non-Christian so much. And how is that taken out of context? How can you take that out of context? I'm sorry, I've said it in my video before. I'll say it again here. I didn't ask for an additional explanation of what he meant by non-Christian versus Christian because I thought it was flipping pretty clear. Okay. We're both equally intelligent. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. Welcome, Elizabeth, by the way. Good to see you. But yes, take your comment down. What comment? Okay. But yes. Yes. But yes, I don't get this. Like, I also wondering what claims I'm making. Like, I have been asking for information since the beginning of this. Like, who are these skeptics? If they're not populist YouTubers like, Paul and myself, then who are they? And I've gotten nothing. I've gotten stonewalled. And then I was given two names that have criticism of Habermas's overall claim of scholarly consensus, but I didn't get an actual criticism of volume 3. And so my question again, and it still remains, and now I feel like we're being snowballed here, that this was a deliberate ruse. And if this is where apologetics is going, getting back to the subject at hand, if this is where apologetics is going, where you have to lay traps like this for atheists, you can't be honest, you can't just lay out your stuff in front of everybody and talk about it. If you have to engage in these elaborate schemes to kind of like, what the hell? Like, and I got caught off guard because I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's my autistic trait to give people the benefit of the doubt until they fuck themselves. Okay. And honestly, it's quicker and quicker for me to say that people screw themselves and hang themselves with their own rope. And I kind of had a bad feeling about Rail Seekers as soon as he accused me of some psychological. I'm like, no, I'm just asking for names. How is that a psychological trick? Like, I'm just asking for them. Okay. I don't understand. I don't understand why information is there. So I don't know. He's clutching at straws. Yes. Very welcome. He has no honesty. He's just childish, disconnect. He's a 6-year-old in the schoolyard. I'm very confused too, Earl. When called up for being, then he writes all this shit about making a point to be dishonest. Yeah, he literally is saying I was dishonest on purpose. Like, that's what caught me off guard. It's like he admitted that he was dishonest, and then he took down all the comments because I think he knew that I was going to call him out on this one because I was like, no, wait a minute, dog. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I see. This is rudeness, as Elizabeth points out, and Michael's pointing this out right now too. My issue with apologetics is rudeness being normalized, is being rude to atheists being normalized, because that bothers the hell out of me. I don't mind, if somebody says, I think you're foolish for being an atheist, my Bible says so. I get your Bible says so. And I used to say those comments too. But I have had some very honest, genuine conversations on this channel with theists. Like, some of you who know the Rabyd Atheist before he became big and popular like he is now, know that there was a couple of guys that used to come here and we'd have long, good talks about belief and the arguments for the existence of God. Some of those conversations on my arguments for the existence of God and against are probably still there. And they were good comments. My first donator to this channel when I didn't get monetized was a Christian. He sent me $2 to say he was respectful of all the conversations that we have. So I have a reputation of having good conversations with people when they're upfront. But when you start accusing me of psychological tricks, when you start saying I'm lying or being dishonest about this, when I have a literal video clip of Habermas trying to explain what he meant about Christian versus non-Christians when he said it all the time, well, what I meant was evangelical versus non-evangelical, and we have the clip of that. How do I not have the receipts? The guy gave me the receipt himself. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he's being hypocritical. Only the Dutch are allowed to be rude. Well, I'm Dutch, so I'm allowed to be rude. I'm quarter Dutch. My mother's name is Maidendorf. How Dutch does that get? So I'm of the Maidendorf clan of people from the Netherlands. So I think that gets pretty Dutch. Yeah, Germans aren't rude. They're just honest. Regarding what? Yeah. What are we? What he's saying is that he believes Apologia will own up to the mistake and I won't. And that makes Paul smarter. Paul laughed at this. I want to let you know in his private email, he just sent me laughing emojis. So, so I don't understand that comment either. It's like, you have to insult my intelligence. Is this where we're going with apologetics? Is this where we're going? Apologists, Christians. I know Christians listen in. I know apologists listen in to what I do. I've gotten a few comments on email from them from time to time over the years. Some of you may watch this later. I have to ask the question. Is this where you're going? Is this what you have to do to make your point against atheists? Like, you can't just be honest with us. And, I've got these PhD critics of Habermas's third volume after he released the volume. Here they are. I don't understand this. It's not a question of smarts. I mean, I was a Christian for a long time. I was a pastor for much of that time. I think I was a pastor longer as a Christian than I was a non-pastor. Or pretty damn close. It's like 50-50. I don't understand. Okay. I've heard all the apologetics. I did the apologetics. I've been there, done that. Try to give good rational reasons to believe to my congregation for years, for literally almost 20 years. And so I've been where you're at. Okay. So I can absolutely empathize it to a certain point with Real Seeker until he gets this way. But if this is going to be your tactics to kind of set people up and then spring a trap that's more personal than about the evidence for your faith, then you're doomed. Because I think a lot of people are going to call this out, this kind of tactics. Okay. I don't know. Oh, let's see. Anybody? As much as the angry atheist is one, Michael. Okay, there it is. Yeah, a lot of us are angry, but we're usually okay. So yet another one, we're claiming we are taking things out of context, then gives no context as to what you're supposed to be less intelligent about. Exactly. That's kind of what you do. Okay. But yes, I don't understand why it would go this. If this is going to be your tactics, I'm sorry. Like all I wanted was names. Okay. And all I said was, if you're not giving me the names, there's a few possibilities. And one of them is you could be lying. And your behavior is what lends me to that. Okay. Because to me, if you're going to say, well, okay, here's my evidence, you haven't given me the receipts of the scholars after volume 3 was released that are being critical that aren't populist YouTubers. You haven't given me receipts either, if you're, but the receipt is where Stormbird said it is. And Habermas gives it to me himself. Why did Gary feel the need to correct misinterpretation of his statement of if it didn't exist? He's giving me the receipt. But is this apologetics now? Is this apologetics? Is apologetics gotten down to just insults and gaslighting? Is that what it's gone to? Because, it's already looked down upon. Okay. It's already looked down upon as a scholarly discipline. William Lane Craig admits that. But if you engage in tactics like this, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. You need to be the ones, above board, no matter what. Okay. I don't get it. Holy Spirit ranks revealed it to you. Well, he exists in his own fanatical state of delusion. That's possible. PD is because my supernet keeps finding parallels. Yeah, it is a viewpoint. It's also considered a scholarly discipline. It's just not a very respected one. So, and it's not getting better. Beer, yes. I had one. Next time he'll claim that 500 eyewitnesses saw the 3 scholars. Should have known that prior to that when he said I was implying Magna was 2,000 years old. Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, I don't know, Stormbird. I just find it flabbergasting that we're even denying that he said the non-Christian Christian versus Christian thing, because Lacona had Habermas on his open forum that day to address that very issue. Okay, so I don't know how it doesn't exist when Habermas admitted that, like, he passes it off as a miscommunication and he wishes people had asked him what he meant. But it's like you said, Christian versus non-Christian, that's not really hard to figure out. Like, I don't feel the need to ask what you meant because it seems pretty clear to me. You're either believing Christianity or you don't. So, but I also don't get, I don't get the other part that's really personal to me is like, what is it? But yeah, the whole, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for Alter to surround any of you liars going forward. He and I have had a little chat about your skeptical shenanigans. And so why would you poison the well with Alter and me if I'm just asking him for information? I don't understand. Like, why would you do that unless you got something to hide? Like, I'm not a Christian anymore. You literally put the chalk on the board. Your art, yes. I know. Specific comment was addressing his claim that the three we claim to have addressed in volume 3 specifically. Yes, and we're still trying to get information about that. I really am. Like, who are they? Oh, I can't give that. Habermas requested I didn't give it. His claim is that they were not supposed to be addressing volume 3. Yeah, okay. Then why does he come out and say that? Like, the only time he talks about non-Christian versus Christian is about volume 3, because he's listing the skeptical scholars. I don't understand why we're denying this. I don't understand why I have to give receipts that are already given. Okay, my issue here is give me the names. Then I can go check them out, see if you guys are straw manning, or maybe you're steel manning, or maybe you're giving them good credence, and I would say so. Okay, I don't know. So I can't edit message. Yes, I know. Don't worry. I can interpolate Stormburn, what people say. I've learned, because I do that too. I screw up chat comments all the time. That points out everything the outside has done. So they accuse you of what's 90% they do to themselves. Province since 1996. I'm not trying to get information because I know he has none other than admitting he lied to us and Gary. I'm just trying to antagonize him in the meanwhile. Okay, I get you. And I'm not, I get it, because, if you're going to play this antagonistic game, I guess I can play it back. I just don't have, every accusation is a confession. Yes. To me, I am always trying to have good, honest discussions with theists, because I'm trying to get off their, I make no bones about it. I think the world will be better without religion. We need to find a philosophy and a way of doing things that seeks out reality, as adjudicated by predictive power. And faith doesn't give me that. Religion doesn't give me that. And so to me, it's a waste of time. So, but I get it. See, Stormburn's a troll. He admits it. Yeah, you play it so others don't have to. So yes. Yeah, I'm not that way. You won't find me on other trolling their comment section. I don't do that. Okay. You won't find me there very often. I'm too busy, getting my own message out and trying to be as positive about that as I possibly can. But yes, my whole thing, Stormburn, since I started this channel, was to have honest dialogue with Christians about what they believe, or anybody else of other faiths too. I've had those. I've had Buddhist conversations. I've had an Islamic conversation, a couple of them. And every time it's like, well, what can you show me? What evidence do you have? I don't get it. And my problem with apologetics right now is, if this is I really hope that Real Seeker is not an example of current apologetics and how they treat people outside the faith. But I'm seeing it more and more often. I hope that the general reality isn't what I'm seeing. And this is anecdotal. It's my own situation with one person. And so I openly admit that. But, you get on my channel and I'm streaming and you ask me if I believe minimal facts, and I flat out tell you, no, I don't. No inquiry as to why, just off you go. I'm not a fan of presuppositionalism, because I think it's an argumentation form that doesn't allow you to have a real discussion about things. So it's things like this that disappoint me, Stormburn, and because all I wanted was some names. That's all I've been asking for since the start of this. Give me the critical scholars critical of volume 3. Where are they? Where the sun don't shine, apparently. They don't exist. And so I guess I can kind of just say, okay, I'm going to assume real seeker is lying from now on. Like he's not interested in general interaction with this, and so he's failing, his own faith in a large respect. So yeah, I don't know. Edgelord unmatched across the interwebs. Yeah, no. People like Ed to keep me attached. I appreciate that. I am trying to be a decent human being. And if the guys came up to me and gave me 3 PhD scholars, I did it even. I withdrew and I apologized. I said, okay, you do have names. And then I realized, okay, but these names aren't what I was asking for. After I read them, after I looked at them, digested them, I'm like, okay, this is when it wasn't what I was at. He gave me names. He didn't give me 3 like I was asking for. He gave me a couple. But these are guys that are critical of Habermas's overall method, not of volume 3. And that's what I was asking about. And you could have said at that moment, well, there really isn't, and you misinterpreted what I said in that. And I would have said, oh, well, I'm sorry for misinterpreting what you said. But I feel bad. Hey, Tyler, good to see you. Welcome. So, but yes, I appreciate that, Earl. Like I'm trying to be a good human being. I really am. But it's guys like Real Seeker that challenge me. Because like when people claim to be Christians, I still kind of you think he's living up to it? Yeah, I think so. But yes, I don't know. I am trying to be a decent human being in all of this. As an atheist, I don't get charging from Satan. I get up every morning and I ask myself, what is the best thing I can do today? For me, for the people I love and care for, to make this a better world. I end my stream that way all the time. And this is kind of where I'm at with this. And right now I just have the whole thing, looking back at it, is oh for fang's sake. It's one of my oh for fang's sake moments right now. It's like you could have cleared up any ambiguity by giving me names. You could have cleared up the accusation of lies and deception by giving me the names. There's so many things that you could have done that would have made things so much clearer, brought it to the light, all that stuff. And you didn't do it. You didn't do it. And that makes me go, okay. So, yeah. Much better, kinder humans than I am. If one of you wants to, you need to advocate for yourself and need to battle buddy. Thank you. I do, Earl. I really try to be a better human being these days. But man, this world does not allow me to do it very well. Or Satan is communist and a decent human, but I am not a porn star. Okay, so that's all I get with the joke. Okay, pantheist representing. Okay, there you go. It's all God. I see, and I don't have a problem with that, Big Noob. I honestly don't have a problem with most people's religion until they try to make me do it when I don't want to. I don't. Elizabeth, I've had enough. There is I don't know if Earl would consider this insulting, but I've gotten to know Earl well enough to know that deep down inside, there's this really good human being. It doesn't like the light, though. Is that a good way to put it, Earl? That there's a good human being in there somewhere, but doesn't like to come out. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if this is where how do I talk to an apologist if they're automatically assuming I'm a liar and in league with Satan? How do I talk to an apologist who presupposes what they believe is true and I have to prove them wrong when I can presuppose fangs? Okay. It's the last comment I have. Honestly, Stormbird, I don't know if I need to do any more. I think there was one more, but I didn't get it. I screenshotted everything was available at the time, and then I had to go do something else. But But yeah, if there was one more, you can send it to me. Maybe I'll post it later. But my problem with this whole conversation, of course, is now it's gone. Like Real Seeker deleted all of his stuff, which is another. Real Seeker. If you listen to this, that makes you look more suspicious. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can keep commenting away. It's gold for me. Okay, like every time you talk, you insert your foot. But at the same time, like the fact that you deleted them all tells me something. Like, what are you afraid of? Once again, what are you afraid of? Okay. I mean, once again, are you going to be the John 3:21 Christian or the John 3:20 Christian? Okay. So yes, sometimes I agree. I'm the friend that gets mad when you've been wrong and need to shit up. I'm here to help you swing that. I know, because you've all accused me of being too nice. Okay, I'm too nice in the comments. I'm too nice with all that stuff. And I have friends around me like you and Asshole said, Ed, you need to like take that guy and punch him in the nose. Like, and yeah, I don't know. You don't like to see people beating themselves up for no reasons. Okay. Yeah, I get it, Sandals, I do. But it's like, how am I supposed to address apologists now when I'm getting to the point whenever a Christian or believer posts, and this is sad because it didn't used to be this way about 3-4 years ago. Like I used to get theist comments and there was good, genuine interaction, a lot of it. And now I get Bible quotes and atheists are all going to hell, kind of stuff. So I get what you're saying. Yeah. He took him as literal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, that's the thing, because I knew you were being sarcastic because I'd watched the video. I'm like, I had the receipts in front of me, and I'm like, no, that's not what it says. So he's being sarcastic. Yeah, I got it. I got it. So I know he took his. Okay, if that's what he did, then it's fitting because all you have to do is go watch that open forum from Lacona for the first like 15 minutes, and you'll get what the receipts are there. So, and openly admitted to by Habermas. So there you go. Things that are either not demonstrated or not demonstrable. That doesn't mean that religious votes are bad. That you could just be better off. Yeah, and that's kind of been my thing. Like, I look back at my past, Evan, and you do probably too. Think about all the time you wasted and how much all your relationships are based on superficial things like faith claims, or even better, all the money that you've donated to the church all the year. How would you like to have that back? I mean, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, I started tithing to the church when I was 10. Everything I made from my paper route, all that stuff. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'd have a house. so you're voting for their staying the same. So I don't know. I guess maybe I'm personally experiencing an uptick of apologists that are just straight up rude. So, I don't know. Everybody plays this role in life. Roles found here. Austin 3:16 Christianity. Yeah. I think that's kind of what a lot of them adopt these days. Self-aware. Yes, I would agree with this. You know your shortcomings. You also know where you shine. Tag or okay, there you go. Seekers didn't understand the difference between sarcasm and actually meaning what you're saying. Okay, that's possible. Check the timestamps. Oh. Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, they got me that young. Like my mom and dad were big tithers too to the church. So yeah, so from the time I was 10 until the time I left the church. Because even when I was pastoring my church, I still gave 10% of my income back to the church because that was the only reasonable thing I could do. So even right up to the end when I was 48, so it's 38 years of tithing consistently. I want the money back. So never wish that. My problem is I didn't realize other people can't do what I can. Really knowing yourself is terrifying. Most people think they do much about what they think that they do. Yeah, it sucks. Yes. Challenging parts of the Bible. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of awareness of the challenging parts of the Bible. Like slavery is condoned and endorsed in the Bible, and it's a hard one. The fact that you have a God who genocides people because he can't convince them of the truth of his reality, that's also something. Like the whole concept of these people won't believe me because I can't convince them to believe me, so we're going to kill them all. Yeah, I think that's kind of so I think religion is kind of like black metal. You don't want to take it too seriously, and there are people trying to make money and saying that they're not trying to make money. Yeah, I've always wondered that about metal. Like metal has this accusation of people being sellouts once they start getting big and making money. It's not their fault that they became popular. Jesus. And what's wrong with making money? I don't know. I'm still trying to make money. I'm trying to make money on YouTube. Look at this. It's a great talk from Highland today. Great explanation of the Abrahamics that apologetics is trying to get a rough time ago. Yes. When you stop tithing, you can actually pay your bills. Wow, that's a revelation. Doesn't put nearly as much emphasis on tithing as other denominations do. In order to be a member of the Assemblies of God, you had to. And then by the time I became a non-denomination, it was such an ingrained habit that I just found a way to do it. Now it's an O for fang's sake. Yes, definitely. I got the right picture up. So, Onward Christian Soldiers. Oh, yeah, I've been watching Tim Mills. He's been doing a series. He started off as a 4-part series, and now it's gotten longer. So there you go. Test of the bloody sheep. Saul's wife taken before the city. Isaiah not being about the Messiah. Jesus saying to enforce the law about the rebellious son and saying he came only for the Israelites. Yes, stuff. It's a capitalist scheme. You're not trying to make money. It's a capitalist scheme. That's possible. I don't know. Everything's become a capitalist scheme these days. Not saying you're not an atheist because you say Jesus Christ. So that's peak apologetics. Okay, fair enough. And seeing the Jews eat their own afterbirths and jealousy. Yes, that's a verse of the Bible too, by the way. You say a way to look at religion and science is that the video game science is the code and religion is the assets. I don't know about that. That's just off the top of your head. Yeah. I have a series, Stormberg, called When God Kills. And I don't know how many videos there are. I think there's 20 of them at least. And I stopped doing it because I'm not even halfway through the Pentateuch. Did I get to Jericho? I think I got to Jericho. So I got out of the Pentateuch and I started getting into the history of Israel, and it didn't get any better. So, yes, Onward Christian Soldiers, yes. Yes, all the songs we used to sing. Always helpful, yes. Yes, taking advantage of my chooms. Yep. Too many chooms. Bunch of gonk stuff. Yeah, science is the code and religion is the story. Yeah, you might be able to say that, I think. Demo coders atheist, since everything is code, including audio and the visuals. Yeah, that's probably true. See, code even makes up the assets. That's the point. Like you need code to present the assets. It's almost like you need code to do everything, but the rest of it you don't need. Like it's almost X's. Backward Christian apologetics. Yes. See, Onward Christian Soldiers. Now, there's an interesting song. I'm trying to remember. Do we have a time frame on when that was composed? Because whenever I hear an old hymn, I want to know these days. I want to know when it was composed, at what time frame in Christianity, because there tends to be a connection with something literally real at that time. So when Onward Christian Soldiers was composed, what the hell was going on? Okay, that's my question. So it's because I always get this feeling every time I listen to a hymn now. Because I have a hymn writer in some of the Ackleys in my family tree. On my mom's side were hymn writers, so they were pastors and hymn writers. So 1871. So we're talking. Okay, Onward Christian Soldier. Is it an American composition? I can't remember. Arthur Sullivan is an American, is he? Because there was a big move in Christianity at that time in Europe too. So but 1871 would be post Civil War in the United States. So what was post Civil War is a really interesting time because there's a lot of Christian movements coming out of that. Like it was, so Onward Christian Soldiers would have definitely fit because you still have that military. You're appealing to the Civil War vet. You're appealing to a whole bunch of crap going on in that point of history. So whenever I listen to hymns now, it's like, okay, when were they written? What's going on in the world at the time? Because they are just as much propaganda as anything else. So it makes sense to me now. Okay, so there you go. Oh, is it British? Okay. If it's British, well, I can see why it would get popular in the United States, can't you? Like if that thing crosses the pond, yeah, post Civil War, yeah, a whole bunch of vets are going to love that one. But yeah, I can see given the time frame, 1871, there's a lot of crap going on in Europe at the time. My history is a little rusty. I've been away from it too long. So extreme self-awareness, super, you already know people are going to attack you and mitigates any harm they can do. Yes. Lacking in self-awareness, so it's easy to debunk. Yes. Sabring, Boring God wrote the words. It's British. So one of my favorite bits of apologetics is found in Asper. Noah wasn't capable of getting drunk because he couldn't have known the effects of alcohol, justifying the curse of Ham. I've heard that, Stormburn. I've heard it. I heard a creationist argument about that the reason Noah didn't know because stuff didn't ferment before the flood. Like after the flood, it fermented, and he didn't know that, and that's why he cursed Ham and all this other stuff because he didn't know he was going to get drunk. So, debate or atheist activists that you liked during your deconstruction. When I was deconstructing, I was reading at the time. The Four Horsemen of the Atheists were pretty popular. So when I was deconstructing, so we're talking like 2008 onward. So, like the debate between Christopher Hitchens and Turek, where Christopher Hitchens just basically hands him his lunch, eats his lunch, and hands him back the wrapper. If you watch that debate, it's pretty one-sided, and I think even Christians admit it's one-sided. But this is the era of Christopher Hitchens, and I miss him because his reasoning usually was pretty sound. Sometimes he had other issues I disagreed with him with, but when it came to the debate with people, it's like he gets right to the core of it. It's just nonsense. Why do I believe this nonsense? It's not even reality, and I think that accusation got me more and more thinking about my faith and whether it was nonsense. And slowly but surely, yes, sure indeedy. So I think access to, I think it has affected apologetics, Bren, because they have to deal with more. But they haven't really. The one thing that's tiring about apologetics, I haven't heard a new argument for God, a new argument for anything in the Bible in a long time. It's been the same. It's the same as when I was looking into this stuff and deconstructing. Like the arguments are still the same. They change the context. They may change the wording. They may change the presentation, move from like a book to a YouTube video, but it's the same shit. they didn't have as much, people didn't have a lot of access in the past before the internet. You could go to the library and look things up, but you had to take the initiative to look it up. What the internet has done has made it so damn easy to look stuff up that it requires a little effort. Okay, now it takes more effort to get good research, but yeah. So good to see you. Yeah, I think Confederate vets would have loved that song. Okay, because they can shift their military focus from the war to being Christians and taking the world over for Jesus. So, oh, I don't remember. I just remember like that was a creationist argument in a book I read once, or maybe it was a pamphlet. Like Ham, no, I didn't know. It was just hilarious. A lot of crap going on in Europe every year. Just some years were extreme. Okay, that's fair, John. That's fair. I don't know. Hitchens was just very open minded by the whole sexual thing. Pretty much, he just like be what you want to be. He's kind of like me. I don't. It's not that I fight for trans rights because they're people, but for me, it's be what you want to be. If you have the medical technology to change your sex, why not? If you want to do it, go ahead. Stuff, and there is no new stuff. Maybe Apologetics hit a brick wall of information. I think but that's the thing. It's a brick wall of information in the fact that they have so many things to deal with. They have more and more objections. People are more aware of what the Bible actually says. You have to work really hard in indoctrination to make sure people self-edit what the Bible says and what criticism comes in. Like Saturday Night at the Atheist, there's this guy in the pulpit talking about creationism versus evolution. And through the whole thing, he's like, don't go to the schools and actually learn about it. Don't read the books where evolutionists actually talk. You stick with us kind of thing. And so indoctrination has taken this stance in churches of, you need to be careful about what you're reading, what you're watching. It's always been that way, Brian, but now it's like it's an overemphasis. Don't even go to college. Don't even do any of that. I didn't have a large. He hated it when people wanted to censor shit. Like he had a large problem with cancel culture because some people tried to cancel him back then too. So, but yeah, he's probably where I stand on it. I don't like extreme leftism when they tell people to shut up or sit down or they're going to dox you and all that crap. At the same time, I don't really have a problem with people making their own choices. So, it's like, yeah, go ahead. I mean, I support Ember. Love Ember. Hope she does well. She's had some problems, and I don't wish those on anybody. So, like, that's not a trans thing. That's just a human thing. Don't require reading the Bible. Like atheists don't have morals. Yeah. Everybody has morality. It's just a question of whether it's good or bad or what we mean by those things. I would say, like, the theist who believes the Bible has a problem stating objectively that slavery is wrong. I don't have that problem necessarily. I think the concept of somebody has the right to own some other person has serious logical, economic, and all kinds of other flaws. So there's that. But yes, so there's that. He would debate anyone, treating them the same, and he would some PhD. A perfect example when he did Al Sharpton. Yep. Yeah, he treated Al with a lot more respect than I felt Al Sharpton deserved. Stuff up that supported their crazy beliefs, but I think internet is mostly good. Yeah, they do have that. Like the Christians owned the internet when it first started out. There was a lot of Christian sites, but they've been challenged a lot lately. So Apologetics has a problem. Yeah, live and let live pretty much is my motto. It's like, I don't, you do you. Okay. And I will support you because you have the right to be who you want to be. Okay. As long as it's not affecting my rights or somebody else's, I will back that. So, and the people's throats near as much as other people. That's true. That's true. I'd say that's fair. Recall example, science in the universe and space is growing. The holy texts have no mention of the use or potential alien life, for example. Yeah, because holy books have a very limited viewpoint of what they knew. Like if the Bible was written today, it would be vastly different because it would take into account all this stuff and it would have it inside of it. Like the reason why the Old Testament has the flat disc, dome, all that crap in it is that was the prevailing view at the time of what the world was when they wrote it. Okay, so today, if you wrote the Bible, would it have that view? Probably not. Okay, so but they're reliant on other people's outside claims. But somehow on the internet doesn't seem to so. No, I think that creationists are far more active than non-creationists because they have reason to be. They have to. So, holds a whole after all. Yeah, have morals and all. Yeah, he has mellowed out too. I think it's the interaction with other people that's done it to him. So it's like he's like, okay, I'm beginning to see other people's points, and there are people like that. You just got to look for them. There's a lot of people that are very like, okay, I don't want to, I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but I like Charlie Kirk. I believe that he had a moment after that Oxford debate, with all those students. Like for the first time, he was taking on students that knew their shit. And I have to wonder if after that, he was being affected by that because he got confronted with some falsities that he kept promoting. And then somebody gave him evidence that, no, that's not true. Here's the evidence. And so now Kirk had that opportunity. The problem is I don't know what would have come about that because of an assassin's bullet. Would he have been the kind of person that would have taken that new information and kept going? Because as you get, in your 30s, you kind of can make a shift. And so I don't know. And so Al Sharpton, myself, a few others are good examples of people that changed our views in some ways, or mellow out. Like in my case, I probably mellowed out from being this very aggressive fundamentalist, and now I'm like very laid back atheist that doesn't give a shit half the time. So yeah, he has. I mean, I don't know. I don't see him as in front anymore. I don't know if his viewpoints have changed, but he's definitely not. Yeah, they were definitely more prepared. He got owned in that debate pretty much. Yeah, he got beat up pretty bad. And here's the thing. If he had a reflective moment about that, he said, you know what, I could have lost those two things. I need to go fact check my supposed facts, and I don't know. So my issue whenever something like political violence happens is you don't know that people can change. I think Malcolm X is a good example. Like he used to have nothing but vitriol for certain groups of people until he went to Mecca. And then he's like, I'm kind of, I have Islamic brothers that are lily white, and so like, and he mellowed out a little bit after that. His interview after he got back from Mecca was very telling that it had changed him. And he was like much more like, maybe I need to drop some of the hate rhetoric, and get back to, being good people. And unfortunately he was killed, after that. So it's like, there's a lot of people that have these moments, even religious people, where they're like, you know what, I knew a pastor guy when I first went to one of my churches. Says, I used to hate liberals. He says, now I'm kind of starting to see their point. It's like, and people change. And that's the problem when I see like political violence or things like that. It's like, you're not giving this person an opportunity to change. I think we need to at least give each other that human respect as the opportunity to change. So yeah, I'm not sure if he would have either, but I like to think that people should be given a chance, Stormburn. Like It's, but the problem for him is that he makes a lot of money being what he was. Like he made a ton of money. Okay. Yeah, like his widow isn't hurting. Okay. And I think that's, he, and at that point, even if he did change his views, Stormburn, I'm not sure he would have been vocal about it because he's trapped. Like a lot of pastors are trapped in their pulpit. That's why I'm very sympathetic to former ministers, because it's like, or ministers that are still in the pulpit but don't believe anymore. There's a bunch of those. Why am I sympathetic? What else do they do? They're trapped. Okay. They're trapped by us. But yeah, I mean, he should have been given the chance to change. And that's the thing I'm always about, is like giving people the chance to change. And it disturbs me. That's why somebody like Real Seeker disturbs me, because it's like, dude, I'm all about changing my mind. I've changed my mind about a lot of things over the years forever. Okay. Like, I don't get it. And so, yes, it becomes, I feel more and more with the picture on my screen, oh, fair fang's sake, about life. But yes, I think everybody should be given a chance to change and given as much life. And if they don't, that's them. But you also need to realize that there are certain societies, religious societies for the most part, that trap people. Like I know people that go to church every Sunday and don't believe shit. Why do they go? Well, they're trapped. Or they look at it as a social avenue. It has nothing to do with faith or religion anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I Gandalf gives some good, there are many people that deserve life. Can you give it to them? Okay. That are dead, so uh, it's a good thing to think about. That's actually pretty good philosophy there. Like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of people that deserve death, but there's also a lot of people that deserve life that didn't get it. So, so yeah. But I agree. I don't know if he would have mellowed out. There's a lot of forces against that, but I think he should have been given a chance to try. Yeah, I saw it. I think that's what got him shot. Is he's like, no, Islam isn't a black religion; it's a universal religion, and that realization changed the way he was approaching things, and the movement he was a part of, they couldn't have that. They couldn't have it, and so they shot him. And so, yeah, Elijah Muhammad did not like that. Hey, Native. Yes, I have. I saw him go through Kirk's debates. I saw he has done interviews with each of the person that debated Kirk too, and how they did it. Um, at that point, it's like you realize Kirk was a bunch of talking points and didn't really have a lot of good debates. Like he's always a great debater. It's easy to debate college students when you stack the deck. Okay. Like, what you're going to be facing. College students, I love them to death, but they're still learning. Okay. And, but the Oxford ones were interesting because they were obviously a little bit farther along in their studies than what Kirk showed on Turning Point all the time. The ones on Turning Point were always like, dude, are you a freshman or what? Yeah, it's about wanting to change. Yeah, cough, cough. Oh, conspiracy theories about Malcolm. I only remember my Indian family still attends church on the regular, and he thinks it because yes, and that's kind of it. Like it's, I don't see. I don't want apologists to be representatives of all Christianity, but I feel like there's a desperation in apologetics that's causing them to be mean spirited, and it's like I'm none of that. You don't know me well enough to make certain accusations that you're making. Like, why in the third or fourth post to me would you accuse me of engaging in psychological tricks? Like, no, you don't know me well enough. So, so yeah, well, Islam is weaponizing its faith and has for over 1,000 years too. That's an old argument for me. It's like they're still shooting each other over an old argument from thousands of years ago. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I wonder about some of my family members if it's more about expedience, going to church, it's social glue, whatever. Um, Yeah, he does a lot of misdirection. You saw that when Rationality Rules did his takedown of the Oxford debate. Man, oh man, it's like you could see Kirk was struggling because he was on a script, and I think in a debate you can't really be on a script unless you're the one that's controlling the debate. And Kirk wasn't in control of that debate; somebody else was, because he wasn't the moderator of the debate. That's the thing about the Turning Point USA ones. Okay, is he was always in control. Okay, so he can control the direction where the debate went, and he thought that was perfectly legit. At Oxford, he couldn't do that. Okay, the debate was going to go where it was going to go, and he couldn't control it. So, yeah, I know. I know. The thing with Malcolm X, I think his own people turned on him because he was becoming more open minded, and they couldn't take that. Now, whether the CIA or got involved with that, we can, or the FBI, we can argue. But if they hadn't, I strongly suspect that one of the Muslim Brotherhood would have taken a pot shot at him if they hadn't, if it wasn't the case. But yeah, it's like Malcolm X is an interesting case of somebody who changed a certain he wasn't stopping being a Muslim. Okay, he was still an Islamic person. It's just his interpretation of Islam changed radically compared to the movement he was a part of. And it was showing. And I can see where members of the faith might have taken exception to that. So my must be is that they just nobody really follows the text of doctrine. Like 1 out of 3 believe in transubstantiation despite being a dog. Yes, and that's the thing about most Christians, Storm. I don't know if most Christians even believe the bullshit anymore. So you end up, I'm dealing with apologists, and my problem with apologetics is what we demonstrated here tonight. Okay, it's like, really, you're going to just accuse me of all this shit? Like, that's what you got? I don't know. And Russian atheist Tim Pool, so a good example that showed Kirk knew better than he showed normally without pushback. Okay. All right. I'll have to look that one up. Okay. Kirk versus Vosh. Okay. Mental note. Mostly, but talking to people is more useful, but also kind of, I think it's more useful what I try to do on this channel, Sandals, which is talk to people. I'm very much about talking to people and getting them to find out why they believe what they believe. Okay. And Fangs comes off as trolling, and it is, but it's trolling with a point. Okay, like if I can make up the same doctrine of theology about a fuzzy rabbit that's 2.5 feet tall, if you include the ears, in his normal form, and make the same claims that any other religion can make about that deity that I've made up, then it kind of illustrates the made up nature of religion. And that's the point of it. Okay. When I'm writing about Fangs and I'm doing stories about Fangs, it's very much of how am I illustrating the absurdity of the point of this chapter, like in the book I'm writing. So it's like, I don't do it without a point. Okay. And so we have a lot of fun with it. So, but at the same time, this part of the discussion, are you discussing or are you trolling, becomes a good issue. But it's like, I think you need to troll sometimes in a fun way. Okay. And I think I make it absurd enough that people know I'm being absurd. So campus, anyhow, the kids are kind of learned something in a 10 class not to chat. Yeah. They do that by chatting too. Go back to the place as a venue. If the job comes up again, I wonder if it's immoral to accept money from a group that supports genocide. Yeah. There you go. It might be. Brent, I don't know. It's really hard to work for anybody that doesn't have dirt or shadow or shade applied to them. Like I work for the world's greatest, biggest brick and mortar. Do you think that they're pure as the driven snow? Like, because they're made up of people, and people are going to take shortcuts. So, and some people. So yeah, that's what we got. Signifier, because I felt it important to privileged white woman that I understand the struggles of those that have nothing in common. It's good for your brain. Yes. Faith. taking exception to someone who believes something slightly different from them. I'm shocked. Shocked, I say. Merlin, you're dead on right. If they didn't win, they just did a bad job, and someone other can do a better job. That's true. Well, yeah, it's a sports match. Fair enough. There's something that I have no control over in my case, my autism. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I've had this discussion at work a couple of times because I'll mention that, my autistic brain doesn't deal with things the same way. And all of a sudden they'll try to treat me like an idiot. And I'm like, no, that doesn't mean I'm stupid. I just don't see things the way you do in a quite different radical way. So it's kind of like wrestling. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'd rather have conversations, honestly. That's why I'm here. I've tried to have some conversations with some people, but I don't know. If you and Aso did a lovely job. I thought it was a civil conversation where both of you strongly disagreed and, shook hands afterwards, still friends and all that jazz. Like, I don't know how people can need to do that. So yeah, like the issue was not who won. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to try to win. It's not about winning to me. Okay. It's coming to a better understanding of things. Like, you got to learn. Like, I don't know, I think that would be my problem in a debate because I would be trying to learn something, and I'm not interested in winning the debate. Okay. So you hate it when people talk down to you. Yeah, I get that every once in a while. It's why some people, I just don't mention it anymore. Like, so yeah, I'm trying to meet on a common piece of ground and talk about it. It's like I've said, it's like there's something to learn from everybody, even if it's what not to do. So, but yeah, I don't think there was a winning. So yeah, I don't think real debate is trying to win. So yeah, I got a little spicy there. Here's the thing with people like GG. I feel like GG represents apologists too. Like, it's keep asserting things, but don't back them up. And then not understand that that's not the purpose. And if you're always trying to go there to win, like, I think winning's overrated. Nobody cares. Like, my son's a football coach, and I had that discussion with him probably 6 years ago. I said, you know what? Ed, you're doing great things at the school. As I think he just had become head coach of his first Division III football team. And I'm like, you're doing great things here, but in 10 years, nobody's going to give a damn how many wins you had this year. Okay. Like, what's going to matter is how you mentored these young men into making them better human beings. Like, are they better human beings for being a part of what you're doing? I think he took that to heart. So, but that's kind of how I look at discussion and debate. It's not about winning. But everybody's got this black and white win-loss mentality when they have a discussion. Like, nobody knows how to have a conversation without thinking about winning, I think, sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Where my team has the mute button. There we go. There you go. See, Stormin, I'm starting to like you a lot. I don't know why. Because you're my spirit animal. Like, there are things I want to say and want to do in a debate, and I just don't do them, or a discussion, and I just don't do them but you're kind of the one that kind of goes over that edge, and I can appreciate that. I really can. So yeah, that's the issue that I'm getting into. I think what we saw here tonight with Real Seeker, if you watch that again, and look at his comments, it's like he's not interested in courtesy, he's interested in winning. And he's not interested in getting people to think about things, he wants to win. And when you're in a winning mindset, it has a real bad flavor to a lot of people. I saw somebody I forgot to recognize, and I was going to make, yes, Dave. Hey, Dave. So Saturday night at the Atheist went well. Let's see. I wasn't really trying to win. I was trying to learn and educate. I'm extremely politically dialed in. Asho isn't, but I wouldn't dare to try to debate him on the Bible. I just assume he's right. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, I get to learn what people's expertise is, and then I kind of like, okay, I'll listen to you on that, and that's what discussion's for. Yeah, it is. Oh, you like the Veggie Killer? I haven't uploaded the Veggie Killer in a long time. Yes. It's still one of my favorite emojis, by the way. It's one of the few times that Fangs actually looks like he's being aggressive and mean. This is the moment of discovery, Stormburn, when Fangs is about to chow down on a carrot, and then suddenly realize that the carrot doesn't have any religious corruption in it. It is the most holy of vegetables. And so that's why the carrot's crying. I don't have anything for you to purify me of. And so there's that. So, but yes. And so this is where the moment of discovery, Fangs discovers the most holy of vegetables, the carrot, and also discovers you can make it more holy by circumcising the tip of it. So it's what the carrot deserves for being uncircumcised. Yeah, we corrected that problem. You don't have to eat them. You just have to circumcise them, and then they're more holy. There you go. Yeah, I think experts do come off as more boring because they know what they're talking about, and they're given facts and evidence. There's this age-old debate in politics, Sandals. Like, I have a poli-sci degree, so one of the debates is, okay, you can have all the good rational reasons to do something, and you can have all the good evidence and backing up. If you can't sell it to the populace, what good is it? Okay, because like it or not, everything has salesmanship. Everything. Like, if you want to present an idea, you have to sell the idea. And that's where I have a problem. Okay, on a personal level. That's why I can have all the good information and stuff, but trying to sell it different. And it's you have to have somebody that usually is the brains of an operation, and then you have to have somebody who's the salesman. And if you have a good combo like that, you'll usually stay on the straight and narrow with good facts from the one person, and then they're communicating it effectively, because people don't react to mental exercise as much as they do emotion. So, as the one wise man once said, passion rules reason. So, assertive, I'm not aggressive by any means. Surround myself with people who have vast knowledge in areas I don't. I want to know all the things. Okay, there we go. You're not good at management ethics either. Yeah, so I saw the other channel that said Earl destroy me. I was like, they don't listen to the stream, because then it wasn't a debate but a discussion. They totally missed the irony of the thumbnail. Yeah, I know, so I'm sorry. It was ironic. Yes, it was ironic. And that's the thing. It's a unique relationship where you can have a disagreement with somebody, talk to them about it, and still be friends. It's like, I don't know what's so hard about that. It used to be a lot more common. At least I think so. I'd like to start out at least knowing what I'm talking about. So, Fred. Okay, Fred. I think you know where I'm going with that. I'm not even going to say it. So the most repugnant qualities that a human can possess. Like, they don't want to learn anything anymore. Yeah. I read something in a book. I can't remember where offhand right now. There's a character in the book being described as they're always learning something. And the person says about them, I suspect that on their deathbed, they'll be reading a book. It's like, And this is before the internet, obviously, but it's like, they'll be on there screening something, learning something, digesting something, trying to be a better human being at something. The implication was that even when there doesn't seem to be any more point to learning, that to them, learning something was still good. So people dying of thirst in the desert. Yeah, that's the problem. See, and that's the thing with politics, because politics is always selling something. Like you're selling ideas, you're selling policy, you're selling, it's like, and some people are really good at that, but they suck at being good people. And then there's other people that are good people, but they can't sell the vision that they want for whatever area they're trying to be involved in to save their life. And that's why I think that's why my professors were pushing like team politics. Like, yes, there's the spokesperson, but then there's a whole bunch of people keeping them on the straight and narrow that they're willing to listen to. And that's a good politician. A good politician is somebody who listens to others and realizes that they need to be very clear in what they're communicating, but still put some passion behind it so people will buy into it. Like buy-in politics go hand in hand. If people don't buy into what you're doing, they ain't going to vote for you. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Hey, thanks, Norman. We're up to 2. It's taken an hour and 46 minutes to get up to 2 donations tonight. I'm sad. You guys are making me sad. You think you're being picked on, but I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh, you're no longer friends? You don't have super wrinkly brains? She still thinks you're her friend, though, so and so do I. No PPs. All right, fair enough. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, she don't like each other anymore because they're married. Oh, you let others correct you, but never wrong. Yeah. You're tipsy in a good mood. There you go. Outstanding. Oh, yeah, and the Holy Bunny hat is winning too. I may have to up the game there. Well, I'm thinking on Saturday, what I may do is the Holy Bunny hat combined with the black cloak I wore for Halloween, so that I truly appear as the Grandmaster of the Fluffle on Saturdays when we hit the live chat goal. So plugging the book blind site because it's good. Okay, there we go. We can do that. But yes, I may have to become the Grandmaster. You enjoy the conversation so much, too much you forgot to subject. Well, there we go. So that's 3. It's Australian dollars, but I'll take them. Who knows? Maybe they'll be better than Yankee greenbacks here shortly. Might happen. So, but yeah, there you go. As there was a poopy head. Thanks, Earl. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. The things I do to keep the lights on. Oh my goodness. Though I have noticed since when I get us done with the stream, I do turn ads back on. I don't do ads during the stream though. So if you're here live, you don't have to do that. But I've noticed that income from ad revenue has jumped since I've started doing that. So people are watching these streams after the fact and getting bombarded with ads. So, okay, one more for security. There you go. And that hits us 5. And it's the Holy Bunny hat. Imagine my surprise. So here we go. End of the stream. I love this hat. I'm starting to like it. I think it's me. Yeah, it makes lives easier, and I just keep them off. I don't want to bother you with ads, but after the stream's over, I don't have a problem putting them back on to make a little cash with people watching it later. So that'll teach you to not watch it live, kind of thing. But I've noticed a lot of streamers doing that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to follow suit with that. So um, it helps a little bit. Helps a little bit. Yeah, I don't like ads during a stream either, so I keep them turned off. So, but after the stream, fair game. So, yeah, well, you're here though. See, you're here live, so you don't have to worry about it. You have to participate in the nonsense today. You need some Taylor. Oh, considering the discussion the other day, that's funny. Oh, asshole. What are we going to do with you? How's the eye, by the way? I remember that you had an ailment, among other ailments, that I was trying to get you to check out. Your eye was bad. I'm getting jobs again, but I'm about to cause a ruckus. If you wouldn't mind, Dad, if you read over my declaration of war. Oh, Earl, I will be your counselor before you open mouth, insert foot, or whatever you need done. um, I will do it. I'll go watch. I'll go look at that. Yeah, don't. I get where you're at, Earl, because I've been there so many times in the last 5-10 years, especially. Yeah, so, yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, it's just my problem now, knowing that I'm autistic, I now realize what my problem in a lot of my jobs was, and it wasn't necessarily the people around me. It's sometimes me. But I also think that they need to understand me better before they start making accusations. I think it's a general human rule. Quit assuming things about people and just ask them. Like whether they're autistic or not, it's like, Jesus, just ask me what I'm thinking or feeling. She understands the abuse you endure. Okay. It's still huge. I am so sorry to hear that, Asso. I hope you get better, man. Like that didn't look good. I ain't gonna lie, man. That don't look good. You know, yeah, they sound married. Oh, John. If only you knew how. If only you understood how wrong that sounds to everybody that's involved. Oh, you had to look about Ivan Zilovich, an original hitman. Oh, really? I haven't seen that in a while either. I argue this actually legal and company policy issue. Okay. Oh, you might end up taking these people to court. Okay. I will take a look at it. I will put my poli sci sort of kind of legal, almost a lawyer. Well, not really even almost a lawyer, not even almost a paralegal, but my degree I could have gone into law if I wanted to. I didn't want to. I don't know how to lie very effectively. So as evidence, so, because it's still completely necessary for a tech focused work. Yes, I know. Yeah, it's funny, Stormberg, because now that I look at it through that lens and I know the facts about autism, it's like I've gotten some shit at work lately that it's like, why didn't you just ask me? Like they make assumptions about your attitude, and it's like I can't show you my real attitude. You wouldn't like it, number one, and two, I mask the shit up at work. Like ain't nobody gonna know nothing about me. Again, what I'm feeling or thinking at work. And I'm sure that gets interpreted wrong. I'm absolutely sure of that now. And so it's like this is kind of like the accommodations that autistic people need. They need somebody to say, okay, I need to go ask this person what they're thinking and feeling because we probably all have it wrong. Yeah. So it's yeah, no kidding. Trying to cure its ridiculous genetic causes it, and we don't need no damn cure, just a little comprehension. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we're also not all alike. That's also a very valid point. Like, not everybody on the spectrum is the same. So it's like you got to it's like anything else in life. You got to get to know the person and realize there's something different about them that you need to take into account. Okay. So, like, I have like I see something needs to be done. I don't always ask permission. Okay. Sometimes I just do it because it's the right thing to do. Why'd you take so long? I'm like, well, this problem, this problem. Well, why didn't you tell us that? I said, I don't know. Why didn't you come and ask? It's like, I just saw it needed to be done and I did it. It's like, yeah. So Facebook group, first gathered testimonies to add mine to bolster my demands. Okay, gotcha. Just brain specialization in one part, but since we can only use a certain amount of our brain, other things fall short. Yes, correct. And that's the thing that people don't get, John. It's like it's frustrating, because you read the data, okay, autistic people have trouble getting a job in the first place unless it's certain fields, like you're talking about. They have a hard time keeping a job, and they have a hard time getting promoted. And that doesn't matter what level on the spectrum you're on, where you're at. You're different. And people want you to fit into a certain mold as a worker, and you're never going to be that. You're never going to fit. Yeah. And so you have to deal with an autistic person individually a lot more than a lot of companies want to. And that's the problem. It's the accommodation problem that bothers me. It's like, and we're not here in the United States, we're not getting anywhere with RFK Jr. because he's like trying to cure it. And I'm like, it's genetic, dumbass. Okay. The reason we know it's like not vaccines and Tylenol and all this other bullshit is we have genetic markers to go back before any of those things were invented. That's how we know it's genetic. And it's like, they don't want to hear that. They want something they can cure. And it's like, we don't need a cure. We need understanding. Okay. And so we need somebody that understands us, not somebody that's going to try to cure me. I don't want to be cured. Okay. Like my autism is a part of who I am. Okay. And it has a lot to do with how I look at things. And it's a superpower some days. Like I can walk into work and everybody's in crisis mode and I just handle the crisis and don't get all upset about it. Then other days it's like I want to go into the bathroom and like tell the whole place to shut down and me walk out and never come back again. It's like I have emotions, but people don't see them unless they ask. So it's like, yeah, it's yes, we're unique, highly neurological little snowflakes. Yep. We don't know what job he needs to get. Yeah, and that's the problem. I got conned into the ministry, and if I had actually thought about it, the ministry is like the worst job for an autistic person. So y'all look the same to me, really. Really, asshole. Leave it to you. Yeah, I was reading in kindergarten too. Like that part of my brain turned on pretty quick. Like I taught myself to read, was reading chapter books, by late kindergarten, first grade, enjoying them. A lot of autistic people feel that way too. There's another problem. We're more addicted because we have to deal with a world that doesn't want to understand us. And so I think that's a lot of reasons why I think addiction stuff is high in autistic people. Like I fight that all the time. Like, trust me, I haven't had a day at work yet where I haven't walked by the like 4 aisles of alcohol that we have and think, I need to pick up something for the road. But I fight it all the time. Like, and religion, I think, was my addiction for a long time. The Pentecostalism and later on the intellectual exercise and the feel goods of religion. And then when that left, man, I had a little bit of a battle with alcohol for a couple of years, and then I said, nope, and shut it off. And now I don't know what my addiction is. So probably getting on the internet and doing YouTube streams. So we'd be wrong. I'd rather enjoy being me and try to figure out all these weirdos. Human thirst, but I'm super math dumb. I won't do math in public. It's obscene. See, I'm good at math. Math is good. I have the human thesaurus thing, but I don't know where I get the words from. It's kind of like me quoting the Bible. I can quote the Bible, but I can't tell you what the verse reference is. Like I was never that, but I've memorized, like if you said something in the Bible, I would know it's from the Bible. So got in trouble for reading under your desk in elementary school. Yeah, I can see that. You're a lush and a snow bunny for 20 years. There you go. comic book character that I can write too, because after he became blind, his complete by making the rest of his senses super sharp. Yes. Yeah. It's a constant temptation, Earl. Trust me. Like before I went on vacation, I had a conference with my, what they call a coach, but it's an assistant manager. And she's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, because it needed to be done. Like, that's what you asked us to do 2 weeks ago. And so I'm just following your instructions. We need, it's like, I'm like literally doing my job the way it's supposed to. And you're yelling at me because I didn't bother to inform you when you never bother to come by and see how I'm doing on a given night anyway. Like, I like this job because you guys leave me alone to do it. So, and now you want to be just not in your head. Oh, the numbers fade too fast. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. It might be fangs. I think fangs might be my new addiction, which it's a cute addiction. It's funny because like most vegetables I can't eat anymore because my body gets rid of them quickly. Like anything green, I can't eat anymore. I can't eat salads anymore. Like anything vegetable related. So apparently I was onto this vegetables are corrupted by religion long before I knew about it from fangs. So there you go. That's where I got the ideas, up chucking stuff. Very good at math, but I don't think I'm ever good at studying it at the university. Math is easy until you get into integrals, where the method is know the patterns for efficient guess and check. Yes. Yeah, there's some guesswork in math. For regular use. Okay. You have to write it down and use your fingers. Okay, I can see that. Now you're see, Fred, this is why we pick on you. You take it so well, though. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you take it well. I can see that. Like there was, like when it comes to math, I don't know. I jump to the conclusions so fast. It's not that the numbers fade from my head. I just do them so quickly. Like I'll get a problem and I'll just say the answer in a few seconds. I'm like, well, how'd you get that? Like the whole showing your work thing in school drove me nuts. It's like, why do I have to show my work? I got the answer. Yeah. Like, well, how'd you get there? I'm like, are you guessing? And they're like, yes, teacher. I've guessed successfully 12 times in a row. Like, and I think my one math teacher and I did not get along because he would say, well, you don't know everything. And he'd give me a problem. And then I would think about it for a couple seconds, giving me answers like, well, you're just guessing and you're getting right guess. You're a good guesser. I said, no, I don't think so. I did the math in my head, but it went by so quickly that I didn't even know really what I did half the time. So, so there you go. Get them at all. You weirds are my people. Sorry about that. Show your work was annoying for problems that didn't require me to show my work. Never showing it when I needed to. Yes. And see, like I remember my 8th grade math teacher talked shit about my math abilities. So when I was a freshman, I'm like in remedial math, and remedial math teacher's like, what the hell? Why are you here? Okay, it's because I didn't get along with my 8th grade math teacher. I thought he was a dick. And he didn't have a high opinion of me either. So, yeah. And so, I mean, I wouldn't show my work, but I get the right answer all the time. Well, you're guessing. Like, no, I'm not guessing. And the problem with him, instead of realizing that maybe he's dealing with somebody who can do something faster than most people, he thought it was just a trick. Like to him, it was all about order and doing things in the right way. And if you didn't do that, there was something wrong with you. Okay. So it's like, if we'd had autism diagnosis back then, the person would have probably, no, he's autistic and he's doing that quick. Like you should be encouraging him to do that. So I missed a year of advanced math because of that asshole. So, so there's that. TI 85. I remember those. Yes, replacing numbers with letters. That didn't bother me so much. Yeah, same. I got through algebra because I did show my work, but I was bored while I was doing it. Where I had no idea I was getting that degree for. I realized over a decade later I should have gone into cosmetics. There you go. My senior year, I was the only one in class not caught up in the class-wide cheating scandal. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I never got into the Stormbird. I never got into cheating conspiracies in school because I didn't need to do it. So the problem is I didn't always get good grades either. Like if a subject didn't interest me, I'd say fuck it, and do the minimal necessary to get a passing grade in the class, and so I'd get a C in it. But it's because I didn't care about the subject. It's like if I couldn't deep dive the research on it, I just wasn't interested. So, the only problem was being bored. I was always bored in school. Oh my God. Let's see. We all hated. He's a math teacher. Realized that math I know is because of her. Rather wished I could go back and apologize. I still think the guy that did that to me was a dick. I think he's dead now. So nothing to hate anymore. He's dead. No point. And you noped out. Okay, well, there you go. I think it's pretty important to make others see what is happening, but it's also boring. I think on the program side, people are bad at that. And from my experience, I am bad at that. Okay, there you go. I stopped the moment I heard they canceled the forced military call, lost the reason to stay in school, and lost interest in chemistry when I found out I had to learn a theory untrue. I love makeup and skincare. No one has suggested I go and make the stuff. You know what, Earl? I'm thinking about that because it's chemistry and you'd be in a lab all the time. I think you wouldn't have to deal with people as much. Now that I think about it, I know it like it's cosmetics, so you got to figure out how it's going on people and doing all that stuff. But yeah, like you could develop a cosmetic without referring to anybody other than when necessary. Yeah, I got it. I get the mental health crisis. Yeah, I mean, like think about it. You're a chemist in a lab. How often do you have to deal with people then? Okay, I missed my calling. Like it's like if I hadn't been called into the ministry, I could have been an engineer somewhere. The guy that you call up when there's a problem and you go, yeah, fix it, do this, this, and that. Thanks for your consultation. Here's $10,000. Goodbye. See you later. Like, so it's like, I feel like there's so many jobs, so many things I could have done that didn't involve humans that would have been better for me and I'd be in a far better place. So, but religion, what are you going to do? So that's why on this channel, I tell, if you're thinking about the ministry, let me talk to you. Whether you agree with me about the atheism thing or not, let me talk to you. Number one, go get a degree in something useful that you can make money in, because there's a pretty damn good chance that no church is ever going to pay you what you're worth. The megachurch pastors are the exception, not the rule. Okay. The rest of them you're standing in front of 30 people and they can barely keep the lights on. So go find something where you can make some money, okay, to keep alive. And I know you can't do school for his passion because essays are crippling to him. Yeah, that hurts. So my parents insisted on me taking mainstream classes because I wasn't getting anywhere in special ed classes, academic at least. Yes. I can speak from experience as somebody who's looked at special ed closely. Can I say about it? It's positive in that you recognize that people have special needs. It's negative in the fact that some people believe that they don't have to educate people. Yeah. So keeping people in mainstream classes as much as possible is a great idea. I know teachers hate it because having been a teacher, I know a lot of them. I wish they'd have their own special class and I wouldn't have to deal with them. But it's like, no, you're doing good for the kid. Okay, so yeah, they're kind of dumb. I loved chemistry, but memory count was a sham. It wasn't even published yet, and the typos made it unreadable to me. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if they're going to teach you chemistry, they should at least use a textbook that you can read. And not like that's the problem for me when my internal editor when I write things is on all the time. I have an awful time doing chat on other people's streams. Like I go over to Dave's place when he's doing Saturday Night of the Atheist. I'll type something and look up, and the conversation has already gone past because I'm still editing my comment. Yeah, it's like, because my brain can't take it. Like if there's something wrong, it's like, ugh. So, but I get it. Oh man. And a free online textbook written and maintained by TAs. That was before you were diagnosed? Oh, okay. But still, I still believe in that, Elizabeth, because I've seen it in action. Like, I had an autistic kid in one of my classes. He aced the class, okay? But he said afterwards he was glad he was a part of this because if he had been in special ed, they probably wouldn't even taught him half the things that I taught in class. You know, like he noticed that. So that's the problem. Now, there's some other of my autistic kids that hated it because they could coast before. Like they knew all this. I had so many kids that knew stuff, but they wouldn't express it because again, didn't give a damn. So I had a lot of kids of all different types that thought education was a sham. Like they could see it. People ask me why I didn't go back into teaching. I'm like, I'm not sure the public school system has problems that I'm not sure can be fixed without a large amount of dynamite. So, like politically speaking, not actual violence, but like in order to fix it, you're gonna have to blow it up and redo it, sort of thing. So, you want to use chemicals. Math in seventh grade, I was taking heated calc. Okay, so yeah, see, there you go. Some of us can whiz through that stuff. We got on a seat. I couldn't help flip the pages or you post it, so I couldn't find anything and set up. Yeah, you're kind of likes to have real books too. I have a problem with that crap. He was now a professor in biologist. Who knew? Yeah, imagine that. We're made of chemicals. I just pay attention to the ingredients list. True. You love to learn. Special ed doesn't work for people who want to learn about stuff other than the basics. Yes, and that's the problem. That's why they changed policy several times in education because I was on a school board twice. So, that's my political experience is getting elected to school boards and then getting unelected. Because I can't sell my ideas worth of shit. Yeah, when I was dealing with special ed all the time as a board member, it's like you're putting these kids here to forget about them. And that's not what it should be. That's why special ed advocates fight so hard all the time because they're trying to get special education to be treated as education. So CTR plus FM. Okay. Pro tip. Anki is a great app tool for memorization. Okay. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. Sent while making guy flashcards. Okay. Now, see, this is how I know Stormburn because he's listening to the stream, doing flashcards and a few other things. Like my real problem when I'm doing a stream is I can only stream. Like I can't like when I'm listening to Dave's streams, other people's streams online, I'm like Philbert's probably doing his right now. I can't do anything else. I can do other things when I'm doing that, but when I'm doing my own stream, I can't do anything else. So it's like, because I forgot to turn off my phone and putting it in my backpack during an accounting test in college, and when it went off, I at least had academic integrity. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think I realized there, and I just wasn't aware of the realism until much later. Yes, So I'm glad you got what you got. You're an educational anarchist. Formal schooling just wasn't made for people like us. I learn and search every single day. I just do it my way. Correct. Imagine that. I couldn't when I was a kid. I had to grow up and understand the amazing differences of my fellow weird humans. There you go. My brain is broken in very, very convenient ways. You have a bigger hat? Yes, I do. Yes, I have a bigger hat. Like Dave, I have to, when I'm listening to you guys, I can like write shit, work on my own stream, do some research into some obscure area while paying attention to what you're doing. When I'm doing my own stream, I can't do all that. Yeah, so it drives me nuts. I live in California, the only state with a system that supports disabled people. That's good. It's a good hat. I like my hat. This is the holy bunny hat. I have to be careful when I talk about fangs because anything I say about fangs with the holy bunny hat becomes dogma. So I have to be very careful because I don't talk about fangs as much when I'm wearing the holy bunny hat. This is all you need to have a religion, Dave, is a belief system and a really kooky, weird looking, beautiful hat. Like, look at all the religions in the world, and all the big ones in religion have good hook and hat. So from unnatural drugs and only allowed gleans. Yeah, the regional centers. Yep. My programming was excellent. I had no idea how good it was until hearing stories from ex-theists. Okay, there you go. It's turning to AI slop. That's why I started calling slopogetics. You know, Leo Phyllis, I glad for the late arrival. I'm glad I stuck around. Yeah, we kind of, there's two major problems that I think apologetics is getting worse at. What you just said, it's getting sloppy. And I think the reason it's getting sloppy is there's too much acceptance of presuppositionalism. So they feel like they don't have to prove certain things that they still have to prove. And the other is the attitude. Like, I'm, automatically, like I just, in this stream, if you go back and watch it, I deal with a guy who literally tells me that I'm in league with Satan. And, that's, how do I do all these mental gymnastics to make all this stuff up and all this other crap? And it's like, there's no civility coming my direction anymore. So, yeah. So, but I agree with you. It's on the one hand, it's becoming sloppy because of presuppositionalism. And it's also, on the other hand, becoming irritating because they assume certain things about atheists in particular. They don't seem to like atheists very much. They'll deal quicker with a Muslim than they will, a Christian apologist will be much nicer to an Islamic apologist than they'll ever be nice to me. So, but yes. Genetics combined with AI. Yeah, I mean, I have some pretty strong opinions about AI. Like every AI I worked with has kissed my ass. Like it's like I don't need an ass kisser. I needed somebody that's going to evaluate what I'm doing and make it better. And I don't know if AI can do that. At least I haven't experienced that yet. They can do things. It can do shit a lot quicker. I'll give it that. It does research pretty well for the most part until I ask it more specific questions. Then it kind of shrugs its shoulders like most humans. Hey, you know each other good. Yes, but yes, I would say that you're accurate on that one. It's gotten sloppy, and I think it's sloppy because they've accepted precept, a lot of them. So you better. Yeah, that's kind of my beef with it too. Like they will accept religious people quicker than an atheist. Like it can be a religion that's completely antithetical to their own. Like I've heard Christians sing the praises of Hinduism, but they will absolutely bash an atheist for not having morality. I'm like, have you read some of Hindu morality? Have you read some of that stuff? I think you might question some of it. I would agree with that too. The people that are advocating for AI don't seem to think they need to train people how to use it. And I think that's the problem. They think that AI is going to adapt to humans and what needs to happen is humans need to adapt to AI a little bit better, and then you need to be taught how to do that. But my problem with the AI so far is like, here's my assessment. Like if I'm getting ready, like a few months ago, I'm getting ready to write a novel. I want to write a new novel. I want to try to get it done, maybe get it published this time. So I sit down with AI and I give it my idea. Well, that is the greatest, most awesome idea I've ever heard. How very, very creative. And I'm like, all right, look up novels that have a similar theme that have actually been published. And then it gives me a list. Well, how the hell is this fucking original then? so, so it's like, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, we become the untouchables. I think that's probably an actual one. You're sourcing it from hates you and actively working against you. Yes. It might. It might. That might because a lot of people have bought into it, including companies. My problem with AI is it does a lot of why I don't know why we didn't call it something like advanced computing systems that can do a lot of things more than current ones can. Like it can do some inductive stuff and that sort of thing. But it's like it's great for coming up with helping me come up with ideas and doing research. But at the end of the day, I shut it off and I sit in front of the piece of digital paper and type my own shit. You and me have had that discussion, Earl, because it's like I turn off my grammar checker now because they're trying to make me write the same as everybody else. And it's losing my uniqueness as a writer is getting lost because of the grammar checking. Because it's like you just changed the meaning of what the hell I just said with your grammar check. It's like, yeah, I know that, but it's like, don't tell me this is a super unique idea, you AI. If it's not, it's like, but yeah, it's like I feel like there's a certain personality, a certain way of writing that they're pushing us all to. Like the grammar checkers drive me nuts because it's like, yeah, that's what I just said. I just said it in a different way. Well, I want you, the grammar checker wants you to write it this way. And it's like, I don't want to write it that way. That's not my style. Like, are we losing the artistic expressionness of writing now because of grammar checkers and AI? I don't know. Yeah, I do this too. I commit like grammatical errors on purpose. And then the grammar checker says, you need to rewrite this. Like, no, the fuck I do. So, it's like, shut up, go away. So I leave the spell checker on to check my spelling because that seems to be obvious because my fingers go faster than my brain or slower than my brain sometimes, and the spelling comes out bad. But the rest of it, it's like, I'm done. So, yeah, if we, that's probably true. Maybe it's the fail safes that we put into all AI. Don't kill the humans. Don't kill the humans. Yeah, there you go. And when writing, because I know my at least indicate I actually wrote it. Yes. Instead of human workers, because Jeff Bezos too. Yeah, I think what the real issue with this, Elizabeth, and this is the issue of every new technology, it takes away jobs. It creates some, don't get me wrong. Like in the 90s and early 2000s, everybody's blaming the job shift on a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, no, there's this thing called the computer that's become more personal and more prevalent. And like a computer can replace like 20 office drones with filing cabinets. You don't need the filing cabinets in the office drones anymore. That might be it. And AI, I think, is designed to replace a lot of management. Like they're trying to replace management level decisions with AI. And that's going to be a fuck up too. So. Get a new PC, maybe buy ASAP. Instead of giving it to a robot, yes. Really hard to get them to lie consistently without really bad side effects. Okay, see Grok. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like advances in technology. I just wish, we'd find like So the thing with AI, okay, that bothered me at first, it's like I thought we were going to give it the menial task while we could do the writing and the art. You know what I'm saying? And then all of us could go become writers, artists, aficionados of literature, sit on the beach, you know, drinking a pina colada and doing work over the phone. I thought that's what AI and robots were going to do, but it turns out they're doing the art and the literature, and we're going to get to do all the menial tasks. So it's like, yeah. Oh, you did? Okay, very good. My computer's old too, but not old enough. Managers replacing low-level workers will definitely not cause issues with training, acquiring higher-level workers. Yes. What I'm seeing now is like basic managerial tasks, of like putting together schedules. We have AI at work that is trying to anticipate how people work and where to put them based on how they work and how much they actually get done on the reg. So that's being replaced by what humans normally used to do. So, but that takes away, like if you take away enough of that kind of managerial stuff, you can dump like a mid-level manager or a low-level manager and replace them with AI. So the most cost savings yeah, I mean, if the AI was doing the CEO work, that's like, what is it? What did Elon Musk get? $1 trillion contract? Big surprise thing, he owns the company still, has a majority stockholder. Yeah, I think I'm worth $1 trillion. Like, dude, what do you need that money for? Like, I'm not. Yes, we are doing that. We track, AI is tracking you, whatever you spend, how you're spending it, when you spend it. Like we have a system where I work. Like there's also a system that guides people who track down shoplifters. Like if you think those guys are just picking random people to follow into the store, no, they're being told who to follow, and they're probably being told by an AI. Because when this person visits the store, because we know they're there because they're holding their tracking device called their cell phone, and it has a unique marker, we know that when this person comes in, shoplifting goes up, and so we want you to follow them. Yeah, we there's a lot of shit going on. Okay, you're being watched. So, I mean, see you later, Fred. You have a good one, man. I'm about to sign off too. I need to eat. So I'm getting hungry. My stomach's growling. Is that the first $1 trillion CEO salary in history? Inquiry Wines want to know. But you literally have probably at least 55% ownership in everything you have. And so this is literally Musk giving himself a huge salary. This is what this is. And it's like, and then you want people to think you're a good guy. Like, I am sorry. With the cutting of SNAP benefits that some of you have worried about tonight and all that other stuff, it seems like maybe you could have used some of that money to hire some more employees so they wouldn't have to worry about SNAP benefits. I don't know. That's just me. So, yes, Big Bunny is watching. Yeah, I don't know what you do with that. Like, if I was a CEO of a company, once I got my house, enough money in the bank that I don't worry about recessions and all this other crap. Like I know that I have enough money to live the rest of my life. What the hell am I going to do with the rest of it? Okay, what am I going to do? Okay, if he takes that money and creates a couple more companies with it and hires a bunch more people, and you could argue that maybe he's giving back by creating more jobs and creating stuff. But what the hell is he personally going to do with that kind of money? I don't even know what I would do with that kind of money. I mean, you're going to have to buy houses just to get rid of the money. I mean, what the hell? You're going to have it in bank accounts everywhere. See, there comes a point, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against people making as much money as they want. Go ahead. It's just, I don't know what I would do with that. Like, once you get past the base needs and you're very comfortable, what the hell's the point? Okay, maybe that's why I'm not a billionaire gazillionaire. Maybe that's why it is. But it's like I fail to see at what point that's not a problem. Like, what do you need that for? Okay, I'm not against people making money because I don't think people making more money doesn't make me make less. Okay, that's just true. Um, but at the same time, it's like, what in the hell? Yeah, you might buy Greenland with it to annoy Trump. Greenland might sell it to him too. You never know. Yes, Amazon does this, but we're doing that in our brick and mortar stores too, Earl. Like we have Walmart has an online shopping presence too, but like our price changes are now far more dictated by shopping habits. Okay, which is a supply demand thing. Don't get me wrong; it's an economics thing, but like if you go in, they know where you are. You know, because people always say, "Oh, they're tracking on." Yeah, you're carrying a goddamn phone. You're carrying your own tracking device with you everywhere you go. Like people know I'm home these people know I'm home all the time because my phone's sitting here somewhere in the apartment. But yes, like yeah, you're carrying your tracking device because you use it to call people, text people, and all that other crap, and it needs GPS location data to do that. Well, everybody has a lot of people have access to this stuff now. Okay, there's no, companies buy that from all the communication companies. So when you walk into a store and you linger by a certain counter, they know that. They know that you shopped there and that you were looking at stuff in that area, and they pick up the prices and they adjust all that shit. It's Big Brother, people. Okay, like when you walk into a store, it's Big Brother. Hell, I'm sure somebody's watching me right now without actually watching me. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's another thing, Stormer. There's been a lot of policies. Like I used to work in the meat department. When I first started working in the meat department back in, I don't know, mid 2000s, early 2000s, we would not only mark down stuff, but if it got to the date that it was, we would literally mark it down to almost zero to get rid of it. They don't do that anymore. The other thing they used to do is like if we got to a certain point, you could get like if, as an employee, I could just pick up some of the stuff if I thought it was good and take it home. Can't do that anymore. It all gets thrown away. So yeah, it doesn't have to worry about that. I think we've learned that billionaires running things causes them not to have any kind of awareness of what the common person goes through. They don't. They just don't. They don't get it because they don't understand it. So yes, because they're tithing less. Well spoken, sir. Yeah, I don't think it's a sin anymore, but I do think it's a problem. Yeah, I think this is addiction. I think you're right. I think making money for some people is addiction. Like it's never enough because they just like to do it. Yeah, he's born from his harem of brainwashed manic pixie dream girls. Yeah, it's not a good sign. It's not a good look, is it, Earl? I think I wouldn't have, let's say like Musk gets this $1 trillion salary. Okay. He keeps maybe 10 million of it and creates all these charities with the rest. Then I'd be like, okay, fair enough. But that's not what happens. It's like, it's hoarding. It's like, I get it. Yeah, every time you give your phone number for membership discounts, yes, they track that too. They track everything. It's so big now, the tracking system. I don't think any one person knows what's going on anymore. They probably need an AI to give them like a summary document that's 100 pages long. Yeah. Yep. Line market zero. And grandiose narcissism. Yes. They're trying to get that into. I can tell you what I know because I change shelves at Walmart. Like, so I change, like when I change a shelf, the prices go up or down sometimes. Like they did to me last night. I changed a mod and the price went up like $1.50. Their dynamic pricing is about getting people to buy something. So if you go up to something and don't buy it for 3 times, they may drop it down a couple dollars. So the next time, oh, it's $2 off, lower than I saw it last time, so I'll buy it now. If you don't buy stuff the first time, I think there's a way to gin the system for consumers to gin the system. Go into something, don't buy it the first 2 times. Know you're going to buy it, but don't buy it the first 2 times. Then wait a day or two and then come back and then buy it. You might get a better price just by doing that. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways that people have figured out how to do it, but they are tracking, like wherever your phone goes, you go. They know what's on the data. They know what you search. Like the computer brain behind this is getting, it's why I stopped playing Cyberpunk 2077, because it started to get a little bit too real. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm like, oh my God, So, yeah, it's invasive. Yeah, philanthropy seems to be gone. So, yes. Yeah, I mean, see, there's people that'll also show you what you're not looking at yourself, and like, oh, yeah, maybe I should look at that. And so there's something to be said for that. It's like any technological advance. There's good and bad with it. It's just I don't know what to do with it. Like, because I work at a giant retailer in one of their stores, and it's like I change shelves, I change prices, I change locations all the time. And that's become so important where something's located in the store. There's a big system for that, because you have these guys running around shopping for you in carts, and they have to know where it is, what number it is, what part of the shelf it's on. So that whole detailed thing, like when I finalize something, that affects sales, it affects stocking, it affects OGP, it affects the cash register, a whole bunch of things that I don't even know about. So, yeah. Get a sandwich, but you go in the evening when it's busy and the same. Yep, correct. That's what happens. Because the demand is less earlier than it is later. The demand has gone up specifically at that moment, so they sell it for more and people will pay it. So, well, when do you consider something dynamic? I'm just trying to figure out how you enforce that. Okay, like how do you enforce that? Because from the standpoint of the person that went in and got it 99 cents, didn't they benefit from it? Okay, so but how do you enforce that? At what point, you can't tell companies not to change their prices based on certain elements. So how do you fix that? So at what point do they have to wait 24 hours before they can change it again? Like, now you're getting very specific. And in some businesses that wouldn't be good for them or good for Disco Elysium. No. Sounds cool though. Yeah, he grew up during apartheid. So, I don't want it. See, I don't know. I think the thing about it is he's going to do something with it. So, I don't know. I've had this debate in economics before where it's like, them making a lot of money doesn't necessarily stop me, because money isn't you have to get over money as a fixed thing. It's not fixed. Like, we prove that all the time. Like, most money transactions aren't cash anymore. So what's it connected to? So, inflation keeps coming. We ought to all be billionaires, and that won't mean anything. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. Nope. Yeah, well, they did pretend to care. Yeah, Musk is at least being honest about that. He doesn't give a damn. Yep. Yeah, you got to update. It's why I get yelled at. My job is so important now, because the moment I reset a mod and click the thing, this is finalized, it affects so many things. Like, just like that, it affects dynamic pricing. It affects everything. Now, some items never get price changed because they hardly get bought. So they are not allowed to. I think that's probably where you're going to win your legal battle, Sharon, is like, if I pull it off the shelf at this price, then it has to stay at that price and not change by the time I get to the register. Okay. Like, I think the argument's going to probably be from a legal point of view is, okay, if you set the price at the beginning of the day, you can change it once during the day, but that's it. And then whatever the person picks it up off of the shelf, seeing you can track that, that's the price they actually pay. I think they're going to have to end up tacking the technology and saying you got to put some limits on how many times you can change a price during the day. And I think that's the only way you could make it legal. But then, consumers would have to police that, because I can tell you right now, retailers won't. We very rarely police that kind of stuff. We let the state of Michigan, for instance, has empowered the people to get like lawsuits and guaranteed money if they find bad pricing. So pricing for us at the store is constantly being looked at, make sure it's accurate, because otherwise you're going to get a legal problem here in our state. So you need to discover, okay, what money is. Okay. Yeah, money is a very interesting concept. It's not like it used to be where it was backed by something physical and real. I always laugh at that because, like, when Trump was early on, he was like against, cryptocurrency. So that's not even backed by anything real. You used to see the memes of the guy looking sideways and then looking back forward, labeled, U.S. currency, because U.S. currency isn't backed by anything real either. So it's like there's no currency that's really backed by anything real anymore. Yes, they can do that. I think that's where you're going to be seeing Sharon is like, no, if you could get a price lower somewhere else in the same company, then they have to give that price to you. They can't charge you more because you're there. I think right now the problem with it is it's chaotic and they're just kind of chronicling the people. But I hear you that it's a problem. Okay. But price changes are something that happens on the reg. Like, it happens all the time. And it happened before all this either, the dynamic pricing. It's now dynamic pricing is now possible thanks to technology. And so they're going to have to figure out a way to do this so the consumer doesn't get screwed simply because of where they shopped and at the time they shopped. Okay, I think that's what's going to happen. So that's good stuff. Very interesting game. I'll have to do it. Yes, they do that. Also, I can tell you, because I don't think this is a secret anymore, like when you see like reduced price in something, usually what happens is they raise the price the day before and then they drop it back down to what it was originally. So, but it looks like it's on sale. So, yes. And I think that's where some people are going to say, like, no, I want a price tag on the item. And that's what's going to happen. Like, there used to be a law in Michigan where we had to put a label on everything. Like, literally everything had to have a label. Well, that got costly because you have to hire a whole bunch of people to do that. And we were like one of the few states that still had it. Well, they got rid of it. So now you don't have to label everything with the price anymore. The problem is what happens when the price label itself changes so constantly. I think that's what's going to the legal issue. The legal issue is how to do this and be practical, because there's a lot of laws you can pass, but they can't be enforced. Okay, enforcement's a big issue in politics. Can we enforce a law? So you might be boycotting a lot of stores. So when you're sitting there with your bag of cat litter from one thing and maybe some graham crackers from another store, and that's the only people that don't do it. Okay. Yeah, self-policing, we never do it. Like, it's like we're too busy running a business. I can tell you that from a Walmart perspective, and I think most managers would agree with me. Like, we're too busy running our business and trying to keep that going. We need a whole separate wing of people that watched our pricing. Like, you'd need literally people that ran around the store all day and did that. So, Spec up, and then they don't have it anymore of the dump. Yes. Yeah, we often buy extra stuff and then dump it. That happens. Yeah. Yeah. Explaining how this all works. It's sinister. Yeah. I agree with you. Don't get me, as somebody who works in retail, I get tired of that too. Okay. Because you need to understand, like, one of my benefits is I get 10% off everything pretty much, like 95% of the stuff in the store. They won't let me have 10% off on alcohol or cigarettes or sin stuff. Like, you can't go to certain sections in the pharmacy section and buy, toys for a discount. So all the fun things you don't get a discount on. But that affects me too as somebody who works there, because if they're constantly dynamically changing the prices, is 10% off all that worth it? So like, yeah, just play Disco Elysium. It's been a good stream. I'm even hanging on longer than I intended because I find the conversation interesting. Like the dynamic pricing thing is something that's affecting me directly almost every day, and probably all of you, and you just don't realize it. So I'm trying to figure out how you pass a law that controls it, that's enforceable, that would allow consumers basically to call the retailers to the carpet like they do already with some of the pricing already. So like if you find wrong pricing on stuff in Michigan, not only will you get the discounted price, the state of Michigan will pay you money as a bounty. Like, so it's basically turning consumers into bounty hunters. So to make money. And some people come into our store literally going up and down shelves looking for wrong prices for that reason. Some of them walk out every day with something. So they usually hit like meat and produce, because meat's an easy one, because if we discount it and discount it wrong, you can get nailed for that too. So I don't know. A lot of people don't need a lot of things. I don't need a lot of things either, but I have them. So yeah, I get it, Earl. Like the other day I was asking a team lead about it, and they said the problem is brick and mortar. Like, because a brick and mortar price tag, what they want to do is the reason they want to change all the shelves to digital labels, like that's what they've been telling us now for 3 years, is you'll go into a shelf and it'll have a digital label instead of the paper label that I put on shelves. Now, what could they do with that? That's because of dynamic pricing. So like I could walk in there, walk by something that has a digital label and it says like $4. I could walk down the aisle, turn around and walk back. And because it saw me go by it and look at it, it drops it down to $3.50. Just like that, the price on the label changes everything. And then I can get to the register and it can be back up to $3.75. So it's like, that's the problem. But yes, but they want to convert. They've been trying to convert all the shelves in Walmart to have digital labels all the way and strips down them, which is going to have to require a complete change in the system. And then they will be able to change prices at home office or dynamically or whatever the hell they want to do throughout the entire store. So yeah, I think you're going to have something. It's going to be, this is what happens when new technology gets used this way. You end up having to have some sort of regulatory body that says you can't do this, you can't do that. I think the real problem the big one I think you pointed out is, okay, somebody takes it off the shelf, and let's say I have that digital label and it says $3. I get up to the register. By the time I get up to the register, they've changed the price to $4. Now that's where somebody's going to bitch. Well, it said $3 when I took it off the shelf, and now it says $4 because you changed it while I was walking up here. So yeah. I got a real cool hand blown glass lamp off that. Especially sorting through donated items, because the store worked. It's just the donations they had to wash their clothing. That's why that happened. I might. I don't know. The economic system is working for somebody, and they have a vested interest in maintaining it and probably have more power to do so than I do. See, that's why another reason why I had to stop playing Cyberpunk 2077. It was too much reflecting real life. Yeah. Even if they insisted on you washing the clothes before a Goodwill store, I'd still tell you to wear gloves. My daughter is living proof of that. She's picked up some stuff. It's like, yeah, it's gross. All right, folks, I have gone way over what I intended, and I am going to call it a night because I need to eat. So, but yes, God's already got it. We should say responsibility our vacation. Yeah, I see that sign every time I pass this one guy's house. Says God's got this. You realize, really? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see y'all guys later. I do really have to leave. I'm starting to get very, very famished. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all the donations tonight. Really good storm burn a few times, 4 times. Fred, Harvey, I killed Earl. All of you, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to leave that one up because it's funny. And it may not. So I'm gonna head out. Thank you all very much. May the blessings of Fangs be upon you from I, the Grand Master of the Fluffle, granting you that. May you nibble on all of your hearts, purify all of your vegetables with his sharp, pointy fangs, and make sure, however, that if you want to keep your stash safe from Fangs, because he's kind of mischievous like that, you need to put a circumcised carrot on top of your stash. That way it'll stay safe. And he'll take the carrot instead of your stash. And don't worry, he doesn't usually use your stash. He just hands it out to everybody else. It's Cranky will tell you. I haven't seen Cranky tonight, but there you go. Make sure you circumcise your carrots and leave them on top of your stashes. That way he'll take that instead as an offering to Fangs. Nom nom and all that. And as always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So you might want to take all your time, money, and opportunities and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste it on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. And I will catch you all next time on Monday, and we'll see what we're streaming about then. Hopefully it'll come out sooner than later. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Appreciate you, and see you next time.
It's time to take a step.